The playoffs in the Redline Truck Series hang in the balance of tonight's event. The B3 Designs 250 at Talladega SuperSpeedway, and this is one of the final chances for any driver to lock themselves in. And tonight, some drivers, they might need a win to make it into the title fight. As we get it going, this is indeed the B3 Designs 250 at Talladega, and I'm your host for tonight's event. Great to have you along. I'm David Kreutz, and we're getting this thing going live on FTN. As you can see, Jordan Parker goes down the inside line, and he's one of the guys who needs this victory. One of the guys who's gotten into this league slowly but surely, working his way up back-to-back top 10s. As of recent, a pair of 9th place finishes, but we have a bigger field than usual tonight. It looks like in excess of 20 drivers with many debutants along the way, so keep an eye out for that as we go on. Cody Webster, your defending winner. Last time we went racing at a super speedway, a 3-wide block at Daytona got him that victory, and tonight with 2 minutes and 47 seconds on the board, gonna have another chance to get himself up in front. Now, when we speak of plate race success, Alec Daffin back in that number 48. He was the pole sitter last time we went racing at a super speedway, and he dominated the first half of that event, eventually wrecked out, and that's what gave way to Webster and the like. As it stands, Kyle Jackson gonna be top spot on the board. Second is gonna be one of the debutants, and he just joined this league 5 minutes ago. That's Kenny Rio from the 4-0 Cup Series and the Integrity Octane Series. He's making his third league debut on FTN here, and that number 23 making his way across the board in the number 23 Napa Auto Care Chevy Silverado. And one of the many guys we've seen crossover from league to league, 2 Integrity Racing drivers going to be here in tonight's event. Of course, Alec Daffin representing the Ignite Series and Kenny representing the Octane Series. He asked me a few minutes ago, can I race? I let him in here, and it looks like he's already putting together some good times. Top 5 on the qualifying board, but this is the money lap this time by. What can the 23 do as it comes down to the stripe? Well, let's find out. It's going to be checkered flag for Kenny Rio, and he takes it to provisional position number. And then come up on our end, it looks like he's still there in 4th. Going to be Carter Casey, your top man in that number 1 machine. And Alec Daffin is in 2nd, and Kyle Jackson is in 3rd. And another debut on tonight's event, well, that is going to be the number 51 of Max Wiesner. He's not yet gone out, but he is going to be going sometime soon, as it appears he resets. That's Carter Casey on pit road. Real limping Cody Webster finishes it off in the 8th spot, and Nicholas Pressey back on the charge in number 94. Now in 6th. And many drivers from earlier in the season, they're returning in style. Davis Lewis is back tonight. Brian Russo does not appear to be in the session, but his drivers are. It's going to be Lane Graves right now, position number 15. He's locked into the playoffs already. Not worried all too much, as it's going to be a throwback tonight, and it looks like he throws it way forward. He's only 62 thousandths off of the pole position in his qualifying run. How about that for Lane Graves in the number 13? Great job for him there, and oh so close to the pole position. Front row still good nonetheless, and getting this race started on the right foot. The number 13 goes down to the inside line. It's Davis Lewis now in 16 machine, and he falls into 6th on the grid. Going to be Pressey in 8th, Cody Webster going to be in 11th here, and it looks like Max Wiesner taking 1 lap at over a minute off the pace, but nobody else going to be out on the track right now, and it looks like at the end of the day, it will be Carter Casey in the number 1 as the top man here in qualifying end for the B3 Designs 250. Let's get right into your starting grid for tonight's show. It's going to be 5 minutes of warm-up here at Talladega, but there's many an iRacing driver who will tell you you don't quite need it at this track. Full throttle all the way, and sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. Sometimes it could be good on a hot lap, but when it comes down to teamwork and cooperation, which you of course need at a track like this, you're lacking. You might find your way to the back of the pack. You need to be able to work with drivers, push and go back and forth, give and take, crafting, and if you don't push square, you're going to be in despair. Wrecks are going to be a big theme if these guys don't keep it together up in front. Of course, we've seen some great racing out of them already here in these plate tracks. I'm expecting nothing to be all too different. Max Wiesner going to be on the way this time by, and it looks like he's right there with the 85 of Robert King, returning for the first time since Charlotte. And as we get this one going, without further ado, let's get your starting grid for tonight's event, and it is indeed the B3 Designs 250. The man at the top spot of the board, well, he takes it by surprise. It's Carter Case in number one machine, 55.95 in the number one spot for the driver, the number one machine. Lane Graves going to be outside on the second spot, 56.012 as he gets over your Daytona pole sitter. Alec Daffin going to be in third, 56.020 for him as Vinny Tigner comes into the fourth spot, only 9,000th off of the podium here in qualifying. Going to be Kyle Jackson, 1,000th off in the fifth spot, and Davis Lewis there in sixth in the number 16 machine, 56.033. Kenny Reel, your newest debutant in this league. Look at that, it's going to be a 56.057 for him, and Nicholas Pressey returns with a bang. Eighth spot outside row number 4, it's a 56.06 for the man, the number 94 machine. Michael Rosero going to be ninth, 56.072, and Jordan Parker for Fisher Studios with its first top 10 qualifying effort. The number 65 going to be able to put it there in 10th with a 56.076. From there on out, it's going to come down to guys like Cody Webster and Bryce Saucier. Webster going to be in 11th with a 56.084, and then it's going to be Saucier there in the 12th position with a 56.112. Christian Mullen, the number 75, is she going to be able to make his way into the top 13? Baker's does it inside row number 7, and Mullen in that number 75 going to have a 56.136 on the board. Outside row number 7 going to be Robert King in the 14th position. 85 machine has it there with a 56.146. That's going to be the man who got his debut top 10 last week at Michigan. It's Carlton Hansen in the 52 with a 56.281. And then Eric Heater, a multi-time winner already, looking to make himself known in the playoffs. Well, not the best qualifying effort. It's no worry though. 57.086 for the man already locked in for your championship. Jason there from then. Well, it looks like we only got a few other drivers, and those include Jordan Coots, a man locked in the title hunt, that's for certain. Double Zero machine in 17th, and then it's going to be the number 4 machine of Luke Peters in 18th. Matthew Weeks going to be in position number 19 in that number 11. And finally, to round out your grid, Aaron Brown in position number 20. And that will be your starting grid for tonight's event of the B3 Designs 250 at Talladega. 20 drivers and rows, and everyone has a shot. These super speedways, as unpredictable as they are, you can predict one thing. That is the unpredictable. And right now, you can see some guys having some contact there. Mullen able to save it. And if you can keep that truck rolling, you might as well have a shot at the checkered flag. No faster pairs in this league. So if you're out, you are out no matter what. And I do believe that these drivers will have to come to terms with that. Got a few guys new to this league, a first-time racer in Kenny Reel and in Wiesner, and also a second-time driver, the man in the number 52 in Carter Hansen. First-time racing with these guys at a plate track. Many of these guys, though, they are veterans of the league, so they should be able to show these guys around, and we'll see, as it's going to be a big hit for the 4 to the 41. Eric Heater involved, but thankfully for them, it's only second practice. And with all being said, it's Mullen, top man on the board with a 10,000 deficit for Carter Hansen in second. Kenny Reel going to be third right now, running way up high in that number 23. And it looks like right now Kenny Reel has a lot of pace, and he might have what it takes to break in the victory lane. We saw Reel get in a bit of a hot streak at the end, like 4 Cup Series, making run after run up front. Almost got it done at Talladega in their final few races, and contended at the 2008 configuration of Daytona as well. Keep an eye out for the man in that 23, looking for his first victory in this league on debut, and so is the man who's in 4th on the practice charts. It's Max Wiesner, and that number 51 right now, pretty good for Watkins Jewelry indeed. It's Christian Mullen, top man on the board here in the warm-up as we get it going to our grid. The W Energy Machine takes it up in second practice. Will he take it all the way? We'll find out as every driver leaves the field one more time, and the virtual Talladega SuperSpeedway to be populated 20 drivers strong. Now make that 24 extra drivers include William Schmidt, Dylan Butler, Max Wiesner, and our 22nd man, it looks like, is shown on the grid. You can see there's a bit of a lapse. 21st and 23rd are shown. There is no man scored in 22nd, so not quite sure why that is the case. 22 drivers now with Schmidt and the man in that 010 and Dylan Butler Max Wiesner going to be at the tail end of the field now. So with all that said and done, 94 laps to get this one going, and it is going to be the 75 of Christian Mullen and 13th, your top 5 not yet on this grid. And if everyone gets it going, everyone is getting excited. This is the final chance to make it into the championship race. And these guys, well, they know it. A close-up shot there of your iRacing official pace car. And it is going to be the thing that leads these guys to the green flag. The question is, though, will they go all the way under green? It is possible, but maybe not too probable. We're still missing quite a few guys up in the front of the field. Vinny Tigner now joins the number 99 machine. And the stands are packed. With 94 laps of opportunity, we could see guys try to log laps. Maybe some will wreck early, and a few others might find themselves falling back due to strategy. Last time we went racing at a plate track, we did see some green flag stops, and we might them again. And as we wait, we currently do not have your top 3 drivers, as well as Michael Rosero, the 9th spot, and a few guys in the back, including Butler, Max Wiesner, Aaron Brown, and Luke Peters. But now your pole sitting machine is there, and the iRacing official pace car still blocks the view of the field from our designated grid camera, but it is all fine as the number 1 with the Coca-Cola throwback there, a beautiful paint scheme. And since we don't go to Darlington on these schedules, we have our throwback night in tandem with all the Darlington action, despite the fact we're here in Talladega. Take them down south all the way there, and while they're racing up in Darlington, we're here on one of NASCAR's fastest tracks, a 2.66-mile circuit, and it will be led by the man in that number 1. It looks like Aaron Brown saying we're waiting on someone to join the session here, and it might be Max Wiesner. On our end, he's the only driver who's not yet on the grid, and it looks like that's a scoring area. That he is. We're waiting on someone, however, to join this race. And Carter Casey going to stay out in front. However, it appears now we'll be grabbing a gear. All appears to be well. And the iRacing official pace car will be getting on the move. Thank you, Aaron Brown, for giving us that bit of an update as the grid stays sitting just a few seconds longer. But now they're ready to grab a gear. Timed and scoring indicates they'll be able to get it out of neutral now, and all 24 drivers appear to be on the grid, including number 1 up in front. Let's get this one going here in Talladega. And before we get this one going, we got to send our major thanks to the Brian Russo and B3 Designs organization. Now, B3 Designs fields multiple drivers in this field, and you see him there. That's the Davis Lewis machine, the number 16, and Lane Graves and the 13 involved in that organization as well. Now, Brian Russo, a designer, made the thumbnails that we'll use for the remainder of this season in the Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series. A very clean look designed by him. Of course, we started at Chicagoland for the B3 Designs 200, but now for yet another B3 event. As a big ambassador of this series, it is back in action. It will be back for all the rest of the title battle. So we got to thank Brian for upping the game here in our thumbnails for this league. A big help, and we could not do it without him. A great ambassador for this league. Kenny Reel in chat saying, let's get a W. Always optimistic. The Kenny Reel machine back in front, and we've seen him contend for every race under the sun on this network. He's raced just about every day of the week, it feels like. We've in the Integrity Racing League, we've seen him in Forel. We might see him in places like Iora sometime soon. We'd love to have him there. And of course, see him here now. But the veterans are out in front in Casey and Graves, and the Lane Graves machine up high. And while it's a throwback to Carl Edwards, was deemed to be NASCAR's one of 75 greatest drivers, he's up there as one of the best remembered. Lane Graves, absolutely one of the best 75 to ever take to this league. It might be a 4th throwback, but it's the Chevy Silverado that takes it in alongside yet another throwback. It's 2 throwbacks up in front, but they're looking to throw it forward in time and come to the checkered flag on top. Will they do so? We'll find out as the iRacing official pace car leaves them this time through, and it's going to be all up to Casey and Graves to get this one going. And as the pace car takes that hard left, we're all getting excited for this one. The stands, they're packed, 94 laps of plate racing to decide who makes it into the championship race. What could be better than that? I'm not quite sure. Green flag gets on its way for the first time here tonight through the Geico restart zone, and we are green in the B3 Designs 250 at Talladega. Let's go racing down south. And as they come to the stripe, dead even, but it looks like Carter Casey follows back big. It's Vinny Tigner, the top man on the board at the end of lap number 1. So Tigner going to be top spot in the high-flying number 99, flying to the top of the field with now the lane grazing machine right down low, and he's right there with his teammate. They're going to be up in front. They're second and third right now in the timing and scoring charts. It's the 13 and the 16 advantage. 16 now as it's a major push with that number 99. Will Tigner take it down low? That he will, and now he blocks another B3 Designs machine, and it looks like he's trying to have total team control. If you can stay out in front pushing with 2 lanes, you're going to be good to go all the way. But now it's Davis Lewis with a big advantage up on the top side to make a move work. And with all being said and done, this is when it begins to play out, building loyalty, trust, and establishing a connection with all your fellow drivers. And it looks like Tigner breaks the bridge down between himself and Davis Lewis very early. It might not mean much right now, but it will mean a lot in the later going. If you mess up your shot with some of these drivers, well, you will see it, and you can see that Vinny Tigner immediately abandoned that number 16 to go down with lane, and look what is happening. Now, Davis Lewis is almost clear of the field. He does go down a bit, but won't take it, and lets the 94 stick right behind him. And according to timing and scoring, it appears that our 22nd man is Talon Drake. According to timing and scoring, he was not on the circuit for quite some time, but now he is, and he's worked his way up into 15th. So an iRacing scoring error there. Not quite sure what happened, but it's good to see that number 70 is racing with us and going way high that time by. Dylan Butler scored his 24th, waiting to get into the pack. He still has drafting distance, I believe, but just barely, about 7/10 of a second away from Matthew Weeks as it stands, and Weeks has the final connection to the rest of the field. Sport 6-4-20, waiting on something to happen, as right now the man he's rooting for is Kenny Rio. Let's go Kenny, and right now he's in the 5th spot on our scoring on debut. Joined the league at this rate about 25 minutes ago, and he's already contending with the best of them. Of course, it's Talladega, but he set himself apart with a 6th place qualifying run, and they're already going 3 wide here, and the action, it is packed. This is going to be 3 wide up high with a Michael Rosero machine going there with Talon Drake. 3 wide mobile lanes. Oh my goodness! Yellow flag is out. Big hit for Max Wiesner. I can't believe what we just saw. And we'll take it back. Yellow flag's out 4 laps in. Let's take a look at what just happened here. I'm not quite sure we've ever seen anything like it. And the instant replay going to show you that number 51 gets into the 4, and Luke Peters washes perhaps up high. No, the 51 goes up high. And something happens here. We'll try to dissect it. 51 makes contact with Brown and then goes inside the wall and gets ejected immediately thereafter. I don't even believe this is the point of ejection. He just keeps going and going and going, and then disappears on our end. And by the time he's back on the circuit, he is back down. A big-time hit for the man in that number 51. Max Wiesner, his race is done already, just like that. Let's take it back 30 seconds and find out how it was on board with the man in this 51. And this is potentially the biggest wreck we've seen all season long. The 51 goes for a wild ride. Let's take a look uninterrupted. And by the time he's back down, it is all over. Aaron Brown connected in that incident as well, and that's going to bring the end of his race, and he takes it down to pit road just like that. A final replay on the matter with Aaron Brown in mind, and we'll see how the number 8 got hit. It looks like a big hit for him as the 51 flew up on his windshield. And this might be the nail in the coffin for Aaron Brown's title run. Not quite sure if it will, but you can see that 51 just goes inexplicably up high, and there's nothing the 8 can do. He blows that motor, and that motor, it is only one you've got. As now pit cycle's underway, it looks like it's going to be between guys like Robert King, and it is indeed Robert King out in front. It's King, then Jordan Parker, then Carter Hansen, and then Christian Mullen. A team operation here. They're 1, 2, 3, 4 staying out, with Davis Lewis now in 5th, and Vinny Tigner in 6th. Lane Graves is 7th, and Kenny Reels in 8th, and Carter Casey comes home in this title battle for the pit road supremacy in, not necessarily a title, but if you are good at pit road, you could be good all the way. It's Alec Daffin in position number 10, and Kyle Jackson's going to be in 11th, Cody Webster 12th, Matthew Weeks 13th, and it looks like Talon Drake just disconnected as well. So a big time issue there for the number 70 machine. We'll find out maybe if that's an internet issue or not. It looks like he's back in order now, and he gets back on his way with the number 28 of Eric Heater right in front. And a big time hit leads us into our first caution of the night, 6 laps in out of 94. It is Robert King, your race leader. Right behind him going to be Jordan Parker. Carter Hansen's in now the 3rd spot, and it is the number 75 of Christian Mullen. So it looks like it's going to be Hansen, Parker, and then the Mullen machine, Robert King, out there on his own here. However, it's 4 Chevys out in front, and then Davis Lewis has his own in 5th. The Christian Mullen machine holds on strong there as well. Rookie stripes on all of these guys. All 4 of the top 4 drivers have them on the back bumper. Then we go to Davis Lewis, Tigner, Lane Graves, and in the 8th position it is Kenny Reel. Rookies seem to be dominating this one so far. It looks like half of our top 10 is made up of them at the very least. And as they come around to lap number 7, we're due to go back green at lap number 8. Will they come down a pit road this time by? We'll find out at the moment. It looks like nobody has come as the number 85 of Robert King stays out in front, and looks like he stay there, at least for the time being. Going to be Jordan Parker in 2nd, Carter Hansen going to be in 3rd, Christian Mullen is in 4th, and Davis Lewis is in 5th. It's going to be Tigner in position number 6, Lane Graves is going to be in 2nd, and Kenny Real still there in 8th. And as they go through the Geico restart zone, next time by, we will go green. And the pace car's lights are off. That is indeed the case. Only 2 retirees so far. William Schmidt now scored his 22nd and last as he comes down to pit road. It looks like a lot of guys going to come down there with them, and they're all going to try to get a bit more life in the fuel run. You can see Cody Webster going to be on his way. It's a 94 Nicholas Pressier right there. It is William Schmidt in the number 79 now on the move as he gets off of pit road. It's that 79 all whited out as it looks like only 9 drivers stay out on the circuit. Alec Daffin going to be on his way. The number 48, Matthew Weeks, are right behind him. So we now have a set of 3 tire and fuel strategies already here at Talladega. Things are getting shifted up just like that. We've got now only 3 drivers waiting it out on a 7-lap stint. It looks like Kyle Jackson takes over Carter Hansen's spot, and Hansen falls to the back. It's going to be Christian Mullen, the last of the 3 up in front. Then we have guys on the 2-lap stint. It's Lewis, Tigner, Reel, Graves, Jackson, and Carter Casey, and the rest now going to be on a 1-lap strategy. And Dylan Butler is now the last man of which. He's got a bit of damage, Max Wiesner does. He's still in the session. His truck is there, but he is out of the truck, so a bit of a flexing moment there. Nicky Hicks Jr. going to be in the chat going for Parker, as Jordan right now is in 2nd. Arch Emperor Fisher Studios in the chat as well, and we have an onboard camera not only in the digital realm, but in the physical realm for the man in this number 65. Take a second, we will, and get that on your screen. This is number 65 machine in the real realm. His camera gonna show up there on your screen. There he is. That is Jordan Parker, and right now he's running in second position. Number 2 holding on strong to it, and we'll watch the restart with his camera in mind as we get it going this time by the iRacing official pace car drops down and in. Will the number 65 machine lead us there, or will the 85 get it at the stripe? Let's find out as they go down and in. The iRacing pace car going to lead them through lap number 8. It's going to be great. Let's get it going here from Alabama once again. Restart number 1, rookies up in front, and it will be the 65 and the 85 there to take the green. Let's get it going. Restart number 1 on the night here in the B3 Designs 250. Green flag and a big move already. The number 16 machine, my oh my, gets real squirrely. And right now, minor movement is key for the man in that number 65. Still scored in the second spot here on our end. And we'll look at the rear view mirror. You can see it is occupied. He's got a big wiggle there. He'll be split 3 almost. He gets cut off. He cuts 1 off. It's going to be vice versa. And now the inside line getting a bit deformed up in front. It's going to be a few drivers on the man in that number 65. Now behind King. And it's going to be a few new up in front. Kenny Real chasing down Lane Graves as 8 laps in. It's new faces up in front, and a few older ones falling further back as they come to the stripe. This time Bynes, Davis Lewis leading the way. Then it's going to be the man in that number 1 of Carter Casey back out in front. Your poster there, and as we watch the lap on board with your driver of the day when it comes to our onboard cameras, it is Fisher Studios' own number 65. That is Jordan Parker, a proud supporter of this channel. Let's get right back to the full-on action here. It's Parker there in 11th now, and it's the leader of Carter Casey leading 3 wide, 3 rows deep. And it's getting real dicey up in front just like that. The 65 backs out, but a lot of guys have backed in to the predicament. You can see Michael Rosero now going to push Cody Webster, and shades of his racing winning move at Daytona. He does it again, this time by with quite a lot less on a stake of it. A lot less stakes, and it's easier to take as a few guys let him in. A lot of room going to work out in his favor. 9 laps in. It's Cody Webster now down low in the Toyota Tundra machine, as it's now Lane Graves leading on the outside once again. Look who's pushing him though. It's Kenny Real, and now the Real machine wants to be scored second this lap by, and that he will be, but only just. And with new blood up in front, you can see these guys are working together no matter what. It's all about who you got in line with you. Take what you got, and you're going to have to use it as long as you can. Now Davis Lewis going to be with Kenny Real, the middle lane, led by the number 23. Multiple drivers back out, including Carter Casey, Vinny Tigner, and Kyle Jackson. But Real leads the race, and it's going to be the race-leading move. And they are all tied up. It's like a lace there. And now the 23 gets it out in front of the Napa Auto Care machine. It's Vinny Tigner fading back. It's Lane Graves down to the inside line, and we've got them pushing and shoving up in front. However, Real loses a lot of momentum that time. Buying a 13 machine might be the man who leads this lap. Will he be though? We'll find out. It's going to be a 2-car draft up in front, and it won't be enough that time. By Graves leads them, and the outside line is all discombobulated at the moment. Real trying as much as he can. So is the Davis Lewis machine, but no one can usurp lane so far. It's Cody Webster right behind him, and these two are a very experienced pair. Of course, Webster, most recent visit to a super speedway, he won it at Daytona, so he knows a thing or two about getting it done in the heat of the moment. Right now, it's Rosero and Talon Drake once again pushing it 3 wide like old times, and it looks like it will stick for now. At least for the moment, it's going to be 2 lanes of side drafting. Low, middle, and the high line has to use both of them together. However, Rosero falls back just a bit once again, and now Matthew Weeks finds himself up inside of the top 6, right behind Lewis and Kenny Real. And at the line, going to be Lane leading the way. It's going to be a big bobble there for the 23. Not much damage, not much contact at all, if any. And it looks like so far everyone's able to keep it clean. Jordan Parker gets himself back up in the 7th spot in that number 65, right behind Robert King. And it's going to be right now the King machine in that 85, holding on to the battle in the top 5, side by side with Matthew Weeks. And that number 85 running down the back with the 11 of JD Designs keeps it in tow, double file, and it goes to show if you keep it calm and collected, you can lead the race just like that. Lane knows it a thing or two himself as they come through turns 3 and 4. He might be able to lead this one once again. The outside line just about dead even in numbers, save for the guys who are laying back, and it looks like despite all that, it will be the inside, perhaps leading yet another look at how many are on that inside line. But Kenny Real has the number 16 right there with him, and it's going to be for the first time leading a lap in this league. Kenny Real, as a debutant, gets it done, goes right down low, and now the number 13 machine has the help of your new race leader. It's going to be a 3-car pack up on the outside line once again, this time by Davis Lewis for the second time, hung out by his drafting partner, and he'll have to work with yet another. And it seems like it's been a bit of a struggle to work together. The 16 and the 13 have been spaced out lap after lap. What could have been a prime opportunity for both of them to get hooked up together, it is not going to be one, as now the 16 is kept dead even by that 65. Matthew Weeks, while on the back bumper, has not been able to do all too much, and now he has Jordan Parker with Robert King there as well. So while momentum does build, will it be strong enough at turn 1? We'll find out side by side down the stripe. Real right down low. He's going to be a bit of a bobble, that 60 machine is, and as they come to the stripe, roaring right through, it will be the man in that number 23, barely getting it over, the Davis Lewis machine. And now Lewis has the major edge going into turn 1, but no chance to clear, and Kenny keeps it all even at the next lap. They'll keep it going for a lap number 15 battle. And the race has just gotten started. It's evident guys are pushing as hard as they can already. You can see double file across the entirety of this field, and then you go to the back. It looks like almost some contact there. Alec Daffin able to keep it going. Some guys get spaced out. Jordan Coots in that number 15 position. He's waiting for an incident in his own right. He's already a multi-time winner this season. Does not have to worry about much. Dylan Butler out of this event as well. So 21 are still waiting to get this one going. Bryce Saucier going to be the last of which in that 07. Bryce waiting for a wreck. He's there with his teammate in Nicholas Presti, and as they keep it going, calm, cool, collected, you know that they will come back later to try to battle for the checkered flag. However, right now, not trying to lead laps, not going for the glory. They want the end of it at the end of the day. Matthew Weeks going to get him a big of a bobble there, maybe a push by the 85. It looks like nothing went wrong, and now Carden Hansen inside the top 10 for the second week running, able to finish in the 9th spot last time we went racing at Michigan, and 15 through. Now that 52 knows what he's got to do. He's already found himself up in front of these fields, and he's looking to do it once again. A bit of a space out between Carden and Cody, but Webster goes up high that time through, and Carden Hansen still in the back bumper of the 65. Matthew Weeks that time through goes up high. Going to be 3 wide for race leading Kenny Real, Davis Lewis, and the Weeks machine outside line gets real spaced out, and as they come through, he leads the lap once again, and he's chasing the victory. That is for certain. He knew what he was saying when he got into this league. He knew that Talladega could be a shot at the victory, and who knows if they'll even give him a playoff berth. Showing up so late in the season only to get a victory, well, it's possible now, and he's putting on a great drive that could end up in victory lane. But going to be spaced out by Davis Lewis. That's exactly what we meant by trust being built and decaying, and it looks like in that case a decay for the man at number 16 and the 23. Lewis knew that the 23 hung him out, so he'll hang Kenny out, and it looks like while Real finds another spot on the inside line, it won't be enough to work with him, at least for the time being. And just like that, a big shift up going to be Lane Graves there with Jordan Parker, and as we saw Parker fall back to as low as the 11th position, now back in second. They almost go 4 wide that time by. Going to be the Carden Hansen machine trying to take it way high, but it looks like nothing will come of that. They're still bobbling up and down. One man on the wall. That's going to be, looks like the number 4 machine of Luke Peters on a rough examination, but nothing just yet. Now down the inside line, makes it happen on the number 15. It looks like now Jordan Parker going to be middle with Cody Webster. Down low the 16 of Davis Lewis goes, and the 41 of Michael Rosero finds himself in the middle of a 3 wide equation. Once again, as a 75 now goes up high and lets the spot go. Lane Graves still leads right now, and he's got clean air and clear skies right in front of him, and right behind him he's got Jordan Parker and then Kenny Real. And with Webster now out in front, he's got Robert King right up high. It's Lane Graves in second as they come to the stripe. It's the number 91 lead of the way. And Davis Lewis there in second goes right down to the inside line and takes a spot right back, exactly what the B3 Designs machine needed, and now the top two are linked up as teammates, and the B3 boys are up in front. It's Davis Lewis now leading with Lane Graves in second, and they are now linked up, which means it's going to take an awful lot to get them disconnected. And while Jordan Parker goes up high, he's going to get blocked right there, and the two are now conjoined just like that. They block Kenny Reel, they block Jordan Parker. What's it going to take to stop them? It would take an alliance of their own in the back of the field, and now we could see connections formed by different sets of drivers. And while the inside line might try to choose to pass him, it looks like the rest of the field is taking the if you can't beat him, join the mentality to heart. Talon Drake drops down 3 lanes at once, then goes up middle once again. That's a very risky move, but no positions are gained or lost. It's going to be Lane Graves now in second. He's pushing Davis Lewis, and now Kenny Reel right there with him, trying to play defense for the top 2 B3 guys. But now the 16 goes up high, gets clean air, gives the 13 another shot to get right to the bumper, and that's been a big talking point in this event. The trucks, can you push them real well, or can you not? We saw Michigan, that did not work out, but tonight it is all about the aero push, and Cody Webster gets a good one with Matthew Weeks side by side. The number 11 is taking none of the teamwork up in front. He wants to get right by it, and now it looks like he'll be able to do so if the run sticks. Michael Rosero coming up to them both at the stripe. It's going to be the number 16 leading the way, but not by much. Davis Lewis will have the edge of the line, but it looks like Cody Webster has the edge into turn number 1. Not enough to clear, though, but it is a stepping stone to perhaps further success in this battle. And 20 laps in, it is still fighting hard. Only one caution so far. A major freak incident between debutant Max Wiesner and Aaron Brown. Bad news for the both of them there as they're double file right now. It's a big block for Cody Webster. They keep it straight, but that 91 could have been in a lot more trouble. He keeps it going and gets lucky that time by, but he slows down not only the middle lane, but the high groove. And now Michael Rosero drops down 1 lane and almost drops down 2. Alec Daffin still has the opportunity to go down to the inside line and make it work once again. Will he do so? It looks like he will keep it there and get it right by Cody Webster. Kenny Reel now going to be hung out to dry on the inside line. It's the middle lane dominant right now. Top 2, 16, 13. They're still up in front, and they will have the edge at turn number 1. They take both of themselves down, and the 11 gets chopped off just like that. That could have been much, much worse, but it looks like the Toyota Tundra right there in third keeps it going without much of a hitch. That could have been, of course, major damage, major incidents. It could have taken out the majority of the field. The big one will take out drivers. If motors blow, your nights are done just like that. We saw with Wiesner, we saw with Aaron Brown. If you blow up the engine, your night will be concluded just like that. No fast repair in this league. But when there's smoke, there's fire, and fire's bad in this case indeed. As they come down to the inside line, it is going to be Robert King going in, and it looks like some guys on an alternate strategy make their way through. It's going to be the 85 in, and so is the 75 of Mullen. He's right there with Jordan Parker. 85, 75, 65 right down in. And now we'll see the pit strategy begin. Davis Lewis going to be down on the inside line. Michael Rosero right there with him. And it looks like fuel's going to be capped tonight at less than 100% of capacity. Nonetheless, strategy is in the rotation. Up high, Lewis gets loose right in front of the field. He spins. Nobody going to go around with him. And no caution to fly for Davis Lewis, who gets all out of cycle. He gets it going. And while that could have been much worse, thankfully it was not. Davis Lewis goes around in front of the pack. Let's find out just what happened. Take it back 20 seconds. You can see he's already spinning by this point, and we'll take it back an extra 10. The Davis Lewis machine right there on the inside line in that number 16, and he stays low until the exit of the corner. Then it looks like he goes up high, gets tagged by Michael Rosero, and the back bumper sends him around. The push is a shove, and he loses it. And while he does lose it himself, no other driver takes damage in that moment. And now Davis Lewis is still going, with Eric Heater being your leading man out in front, with Michael Rosero in second and Cody Webster in third. Now, how about that for teamwork? It's all over just like that. The 13 is still out in front, but his teammate has fallen back big and is now in the realm of drivers like King, Parker, Mullen, and Hansen. However, Carter and Hansen now 1 lap down back on the way. And as we get back up in front, it's the 28 of Eric Heater leading the way. He'll have to come down a pit road sometime soon. This time, though, is not the chosen lap. It looks like the 94 almost thinks about it, but does not choose to go in. However, the rest of the field keeps themselves going. Davis Lewis has still not come down yet. Almost up to the 52 in Hansen, so he should be able to get some draft, but it looks like he still is much quicker. Putting the foot down. Will he come down to pit road here to cut his losses? It looked like this he will not do. Looks like he might have, but it looks like that will not be the case. A double back and forth switch there for his pit strategy, and now, while off cycle, he'll try to keep it on the same lap of pitting. Eric Heater out in front with Michael Rosero in second. It's Cody Webster right now side by side with Kenny Reel, and Reel's up high with Jordan Kuntz, and now the 00 coming into the picture. The 00 who we saw was in the back of the field for the good majority of the beginning of this event. 24 laps in, is now up there chasing the lead, and he's pushing Kenny Reel there as hard as he can. Webster goes up high right there with him, and now Kenny Reel going to be able to lead the lap, but on the back of the 00's work. And down low, Kuntz goes, so does Kenny Reel, and Reel goes way down there, able to save it, goes right up high once again, and that could have been much worse once again, and avoided an incident, and now the 23 dropped off the 00, and it comes with its consequences. He'll fade back 1, 2, 3, 4 spots and tries to squeeze in with Michael Rosero. That will not work. Matthew Weeks shuts the gap wide open, and then it gets closed just like that. Kenny Reel tries to squeeze it in on Alec Daff, and that he does, and now the 48 finds himself right behind the other integrity driver in this league. Now the 23 and 48 are in positions 5 and 6, and they're single files. They want to come down to pit road. They could this time by, but that they do not. They have about a 5 and 6 lap advantage over the guys who came in early, and they'll keep it going without much hesitation. Bit of a grass clip there for the 91 machine. Cody Webster, it looks like he's still going, but we did see some debris coming off of that Toyota Tundra. All's well, though, for the Toyota, and he keeps it going. The 48 of Alec Daffin right there in that 48, as we mentioned. Well, he's still looking good right now. The pole sitter in your race at Daytona right now, working with your race winner from Daytona, and those two could be a devastating combination for the rest of the field. The reason why, it's expertise. We got a lot of rookies running up in front on different strategies all night long. We've seen him, and right now Matthew Weeks, one of them. Every driver with a yellow rear end spoiler, the yellow green, however you call it, well, they are rookies, and right now it's the top two filled with them up in front. And while the rookies may lead the way, it is all about expertise in the middle of the pack. Winners such as Matthew Weeks, of course, in 5th, Alec Daffin. He has not won this season just yet, but he's always been quick in 6th. Webster's there in 7th, and William Schmidt having one of his better races this season. Well, he is in 8th right now in that number 79, and looking for his first win of the year. He's gotten close this season, but not been enough to get it at the checkered flag. But right now, laying back on strategy, looking to see if push comes to shove for him, and he's right there with the leaders on the cycle. As it stands, Jordan Parker leading this 4-car pack, making a 3-car pack. Of course, the 52's falling off a cycle, and these three going about a second off the leader's pace. Last time by, Jordan Kuntz ran a 53.214, and this time through, the man up in front of this pack, and Jordan Parker ran a 53.856, so more like about 0.6 of a second off, and the leaders are coming. Take a look at that. That's Jordan Kuntz leading the way there. Eric Heater is indeed in 2nd, and then it's Michael Rosero in 3rd. Kenny Reel now up to 4th. Matthew Weeks in 5th, and as they stay single file, it is inevitable that we will see a risky race down into pit road. And drivers trying to make it a 3-stop race from here on out at the very most. The number 28 machine there in 2nd, waiting for Jordan Kuntz to bow in, and he'll go right with them at the back end of that 00. It is the AlphaTauri machine, and he is right there letting him know that he will not let him get away from the pack. If he can move quick, well, the 00 machine, he might be able to move quick, but the 28 will go even quicker, cutting through the air, and now they're going to be up in front by about 0.2 of a second at the line. It's going to be Jordan Kuntz leading, but Eric Heater putting all that power into the 00 to make a bit of a gap at the start-finish line. As we go to the 29 lap mark, 30 coming up next, almost a third of the way through this one, and the men up in front have not quit. You can see as they come down the Alabama gang super stretch, it's only one man up high. That is going to be the number 4 in Luke Peters, and we'll see if he merges down and in without a hitch. That he does. He stays in that single file order. Davis Lewis comes to the pit road this time by. Now comes out, as a matter of fact. One lap down as it stands. Robert King going to be inside line of the number 65 and the number 75. And as these drivers continue to battle up in front, the leaders come in and they'll have to run the lap of their life as Coots comes in without much of an issue, leading by a wide margin. The rest of the field comes in right with them. Every driver gets in. It looks like no spinning. Everyone's through clean, and we'll be able to get going without an issue. Bryce Dalcier going to still keep it going, it looks like, with Alec Daffin and Nicholas Pressey, but the rest of these guys themselves in order. We'll watch the race off pit road here and now as it looks like the number 13 machine of Lane Graves makes it in. So does Gardner Casey, Vinny Tigner right there as well, and we'll find out who wins this race in just a moment. It looks like a first few guys going to be off. That's Jordan Coots on his way. 00 machine, who's going to beat him out? It looks like nobody. Who's going to beat out the man in the 28 in Eric Heater? Then it's going to be Michael Rosero, Kenny Reel, Matthew Weeks, William Schmidt, and your leader at the moment, it is the number 48. He'll have to come into pit road this time by, though, and it looks like that he will indeed. Going to be 3 guys coming in this time by. Jordan Parker going to try to get the lead. Right now, it looks like he's off cycle with Alec Daffin and indeed off cycle with Michael Rosero. Going to be these guys up in front. They get to the backstretch before the second pack gets to the exit of turn number 2. Momentum or not, it looks like it does not work out with a smaller pack, and they'll have to try to keep up with the back of the field as Luke Peters is onto the exit of the straightaway, while the rest of the pack, Jordan Parker and all, are on the entry of the corner. Alec Daffin, the man who leads the way on scoring. We'll find out if it works. Jordan Coombs comes down to the inside line of the start-finish line entry this time through, and he'll take the entirety of the field down and in. As they come to the stripe double file, Kenny Reel will lead this lap, and Alec Daffin will lead the race overall, but it's going to be a very close call of Nicholas Pressey putting the power down and fast, but it won't be any use. And now, Kenny Reel is the overall leader. A much better opportunity for Nicholas Pressey, though, is he going to be able to get out right with the middle of this field, and it looks like 94 does catch up to at least the 13 of Lane Graves, so he gets right behind him, gets right there with Vinny Tigner, and while he does catch up to the back end of the field, the Robert King machine, not as fortunate. He's 17th right now. He's about 10 seconds off of Bryce Dalcier. The rest of the field, though, is only separated by a total of just about 6 seconds. It's going to be side by side, though. Up in front is going to be Matthew Weeks, Jordan Coots, Michael Rosero, and Eric Heater as they go side by side. Lap number 31.94. Double file. They keep on coming. And now Coots up high has himself in the second lane. Matthew Weeks down low. Does he lead the lap? That time he does not. And the number 00 gets it done for lap number 31 on the 32. And Jordan Coots knows there's no sweat in tonight's race for him at the very least. He's already in the championship battle no matter what. One of the fastest drivers week in, week out. And with that being said, he does not have to worry about the race results. As a rookie, he might be able to get it done winning the championship. He is one of the favorites entering the final stretch of action. Of course, race number 15 going to be next up on the agenda. Talladega to finish off the show. And I believe Darlington going to be up next on the schedule, and then we will have our off week, our final of the season, and we'll go all the way till the championship is crowned, and we'll look out for that. It's sure to be a great time as 32 laps in, they come down to the stripe once again. Only one caution all night long. It's going to be the Davis Lewis machine right in front of these guys. He'll be off cycle by 1 full lap, and he'll need a yellow sooner or later. As Jordan Coots makes it by, their side-by-side double file. Going to be Lane Graves trying to work with the number 16, and that he will. Going to give up his own position to work with that number 16 and get him right back in front. What he could do is use the 16 as a bit of a bulldozer. Have him get right in to every nook and cranny on the circuit, push through every opening, and then have the 13 take the spots that he would have had if he was on the lead lap. We'll see if that works out. Right now, it might be the case that the Scott's number 13 machine, well, it isn't Scott's anymore, it's the B3 Designs machine, takes it down to the inside line, and he'll keep it in check with William Schmidt. Now, going to be passing Schmidt, both drivers do, as they're going to be tucked in next to one another. The 79 and 13 are side by side, make it lap number 33's conclusion, with Cody Webster being pushed by Kenny Reel. And Kenny Real now going to be up high with the B3 machines. Are they going to try to let loose on him? We'll find out. Kenny stays up in front. The 16 blocked by the 23, and he knows this could be a useful ticket to stay up in front, and it might just work out. Down the backstretch, it's nose to tail. 3 drivers on the high side, and now Kenny's going to be able to get right up there with Eric Heater, and using the lap car to his advantage, the number 33 machine works through the B3 teammates and tries to put himself in a good position right there with him. The 91 of Cody Webster, 34 laps in, your race leader. It's Eric Heater right there behind him. Now beside him is the 23 once again. And Real so far has been the juggernaut of this race that we did not expect. Of course, very early in the going in tonight's event, we did not expect him to see him racing here at all. And now he leads a lap once again. And that number 23 burst onto the scene in this league in the best way possible. Success, it has been up front all night long, qualified in 6th, leading the race with Cody Webster right there with him, and we'll see if he tries to block him from both lanes. That he does. Now the outside line pulls out from him, and aggression gets to him once again, and that might be his only fault so far tonight. He tries everything, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. He'll fall back a few spots, then slot right in with Michael Rosero down behind him. Looks like he might not even do that. He'll try to stay out with the outside line guys and get right back with them. He knows they're going to be a big asset to his success all night long, the way they're driving. While Cody Webster now chooses to use them, it looks like he'll go down the inside line and let Davis Lewis right by. No! It's going to be a big swiggle, and it looks like they save it. No! It's going to be Lane Graves around, and now the lap machine gets involved. The yellow flag is out. And that became a yes, no, yes, no. Lane Graves gets the biggest no and the biggest damage of all. Let's take it back 20 seconds, find out what just happened. As we look back, it's the 16 contact with Eric Heater there, and then contact Kenny Real makes with the B3 machine in that 16, and it looks like the 13 of Lane Graves was already loose by that point. Kenny gets into him, and then they go down the track. How about that? Real gonna dispose of him. Rosero taps the back end, and Rosero gets big front end damage, so he might get the worst of it overall. Then Lane Graves finds himself in the wall. How about that big hit there for Lane Graves? Kenny Real still spinning by this point, and the second yellow's out. Kyle Jackson avoids it, but big time damage. And Davis Lewis, of course, involved in that one. We'll take a cockpit view with the number 16 and find out how it was from his perspective. And we're going to take it actually at full speed, so let's take that quick look overall. And able to keep it straight, but his teammate does not, and the 23 goes right around, loops in front of the number 1 car to Casey. Casey able to avoid it quite well. And Cody Webster, now your race leader, just like that. And he'll be down the pit road this time by. Going to be many drivers back on their way. Davis Lewis going to be the lucky dog back on cycle. He'll be, and this is the big break for every driver outside the top 10. Going to be a big shuffle for every driver on the field. Kenny Real comes down and in right there. Looks like a bit of front end damage, maybe minor, maybe major. We'll find out as Carter Casey comes to his pole position stall. We'll see who makes it out first and who makes it out last. The number 1 machine leads the way, though, as they come through the pit road, and he'll be the one who leads them out. It's Carter Casey back out in front, and Vinny Tigner in second. Then Alec Daffin, Kyle Jackson going to be there with Cody Webster. Then Gordon Kuntz and Eric Heater, and right behind him, it's going to be Bryce Salzier, Matthew Weeks in the mix as well, and then the number 94, Nicholas Pressey. It looks like Kenny Real going to stay long this time by. Many drivers going to do that as well. You can see the 13, the 16, the B3 Designs guys get caught up very big, and while both of them do get involved, it looks like the number 13 on the lead lap actually got the worst of it, so bad news there for the driver contending for the win at that moment. Davis Lewis still there, 1 lap down. We'll see if the damage is major for either, but we certainly saw that the front end and the back end of that number 13 got bent up. We'll take a look at the back end of the 13, though. Lane Graves, as his teammate goes right by him, certainly has some on the front and some on the back end. We'll see how long he waits on pit road until the race gets back on its way. And now your pole sitter, just like that, as we get closer and closer to the halfway mark, is up in front. Once again, 37 laps in out of 94, and it is Carter Casey, your leader. Hardin Hansen to get his lap back this time by, and that number 52 back on the way. Many drivers back in contention, a few do not benefit from this and will find themselves on the short end of the stick. Of course, the number 13 and number 16, two of which to be involved in this one in a negative light, and the number 52 might have gotten the biggest break overall. That number 52 was almost entirely one lap down. Of course, he's one lap down overall. It could have been even more than that as the night went on. Davis Lewis only just got put one down and then got involved in the wreck, so we will see whether or not they give anything to him there, as now Carden Hansen gets the edge and not involved in the yellow, plays it safe, and that will keep him on the lead lap, as we have one lap to green next time by. 37 laps in, Talon Drake and Eric Heater go down to pit road once again, and we're just getting started in the B3 Designs 250 here in Talladega. And the yellow flag flies with the number 1 out in front. Carden Hansen due to be put one lap up. Back again on the lead lap he will go. And it looks like a saving race for the Jordan Parker machine, the 65 in chat there. Excitement for him, and it's to the dismay of many others. So a lot of guys, some getting what they wanted, some did not. It's a bit of debatable stuff when it comes to strategy here tonight. And the first of them to be all about the driver, the 16. Now, Davis Lewis, I'm not quite sure. It looks like a bobble on his input. Then everyone went around from there. We'll see whether or not there's any decision made about that 16. What is for certain, still one lap down, and Carden Hansen at least gets one back. So Lewis right now going to be staying one lap down as he gets back on his way. Side damage, he's got it. Carden Hansen now getting back up to the field once again. Gets himself one extra shot at the go. Arch Emperor saying that's going to save him as well. So a few guys get what they needed. A few guys get a bit worse than just that. 38 laps in and a 94. It's Carter Casey, your pole sitter, leading the way once again with Vinny Tigner on the outside line and Alec Daffin in third. One guy we have not talked about all too much tonight, it's been Kyle Jackson in the number 96. Jackson running a quiet race, but it's been a good one. He's inside the top 5 right now with Jordan Coots on his outside. Will the 96 machine come into his own in the second half of this race, or is this just a flash of excellence in an otherwise middling race for this Chevy Silverado? Well, we'll find out, and he's been running better and better every time we've gone racing, so I wouldn't put it past him. When it comes to this being a good race, it just might be for that number 96 machine and GM Racing as a whole. As we get back to it this time by it's Tigner up in front. Carter Casey there in second, and Alec Daffin is in third. Down to the inside, the iRacing official pace car gonna go once again, and it will be restart number 2, led by the number 1 as it was when the race began 38 laps ago. And the green flag will fall for Carter Casey as they go through the Geico restart zone. Let's get right back into it. The Geico restart zone came and went, and Carter Casey is through it. Green flag to be out for the second restart of the night here in the B3 Designs 250, led by Casey and Vinny Tigner. And 39 laps in, side by side, we still are. Talon Drake makes a dangerous dive down to the inside line. That could have turned out much worse. Michael Rosera has big time damage here. He's going to limp through. It looks like that might be the end of his race. We'll find out whether or not it is. That 41 got caught up in the incident, made big time contact with Kenny Reel. And right now, Reel is still going, but that 41 is not, at least not well at the moment as they go side by side. It looks like Kenny is still with the pack. However, front end damage might put an end to his winning chances at the moment. That's Nicholas Pressey on your screen. And while the Reel machine's back end damage is not major, the front seal is not shut. So power might be a bit down on the remainder of the night here. That's 40 laps in at a 94. Coming up to halfway very soon, it's Alec Daffin leading this field, and he's got the number 1 still right beside him. Matthew Weeks going to be in third. It's going to be Vinny Tigner in position number 4, and then it's going to be Kyle Jackson in position number 5. Jordan Carter going to be 6, and as they all come down, battling back and forth, Michael Rosero comes down to pit road, and it looks like trouble for him indeed. That number 41 has an awful lot of damage. If he wants to keep going, he'll have to alleviate it under the pit road, and we'll see whether or not he even comes back to the remainder of this race, as we still have quite a lot of time until the checkered flag falls. He could choose to come back. He could choose not to. Right now, the choice has not been made. And as we go back to the front of the field, it's going to be that time by at the stripe. Carter Casey looks like barely gets it on Alec Daffin on that high side. These lines have been dead even, top and bottom, front and back. 3 wide going to be in the middle with Davis Lewis, and it looks like despite everything, Davis Lewis is still racing as hard as he can. Going to take a 3 there with a Bryce SCRL machine, and now Bryce goes up high with a 16 right there in the mix. Lane Graves runs it back right now, waiting just a bit, and gets involved in the incident once again. Saucier going to be around. No yellow flag for that until now. Davis Lewis, Bryce Saucier, second incident of the night in 10 laps. Let's check out what happened once again. Taking a bit more of an in-depth look here, as it looks like the 07 goes down and around, and that's not even the best of angles, so we'll take it back from a different perspective. You can see Bryce put up high by a lap machine. That gets contentious to start. We'll play it a little forward from here. And the 16 right there in the middle groove. Does he come up? We'll find out. And it looks like that he might have. Saucier stays on that line, or no, he goes down. And it looks like further and further and further. And then they begin to go at one another. And at that point, they come together just like that. The 16 gets the better of it that time through, but not by much. Saucier going to get big time damage avoided by the rest of the field, and Davis Lewis involved in his second incident as the 07 has to limp it back to the pits. At that point, he stalled on the track, but he's still going now, and Carter Casey, 42 laps in, is your race leader. And treacherous times on the track right now with yet another incident involving the number 16 of Davis Lewis there. He's now 1 lap down and then some, as that number 16 keeps it going. He goes down the inside line, and we'll see what happens from here on out. The number 75 of Christian Mullen right there with them, and the 13 of Lane Graves is as well. And it looks like for the number 07 of Bryce Saucier, he's due to be down on pit road, and that he will be next time through, as the number 75 machine right in front. That 07 will choose to stay on the track and wait till later to get damage repairs. Certainly quite a lot more than he'd want. Front end and the side, and now he's going to make the last second decision to jump down and in, get some of it fixed. Just like that. Good majority of the field going to be down and in, but Carter Casey, Vinny Tigner, Jordan Parker, and Kyle Jackson, alongside Mullen and Presley, they all stay out, but Alec Daffin, the man who leads the next wave out of pit road, and just like that, yet another difference in strategy is on its way. Matthew Weeks going to be right behind him, so is Robert King, Cody Webster, Jordan Kuntz, and then it looks like Kenny Reel as Kuntz burns up the tire just a bit, and you can see that 00, despite that, keeps it going. 43 in at a 94, and the leader is still your pole sitter, almost at the halfway mark. And while it is true, it is a bit deceiving to say the man in that 43 has led from start to nearly halfway. He has been up and down throughout the field all night long if you watched with us throughout the entirety of this race so far. But if you're joining us for the first time tonight, that number 1 has now reclaimed the top spot from starting on the pole position. Great run for him so far, and this is the final race in the regular season that decides who races for the championship for the rest of the going. So if you're joining us for the first time tonight, welcome to the FTN Live sector of this channel. And if you're interested in any more content and how you can join these leagues, well, join our official Discord. The link is in the description, and it's also on the QR code on your screen right now. If you're watching on a TV or watching on anything that can be to scan, well, you might as well be able to take a screenshot as well and put it through a QR code scanner. We'd love to have you aboard, and if you can't scan it, well, the link is in the description as well. Want to join? Many ways to do so. The QR code, the link, and even the link in our channel page, and not just the stream page. We'd love to have you aboard, and we'd love to have you competing with us. If you want to race, if you want to be part of the viewing experience behind the scenes, right up there with us, we'd love to have you along for the ride. And as it stands, it is the number 1 machine of Carter Casey out in front, and he's having a great race. If you want to compete with him, the Redline Truck Series description, it is there in the description of the YouTube channel and the video as well. You can join all the action by using their Discord link for more information on this league. 14 rounds in, and Talladega has been exciting so far. Your third caution of the night, and it's the number 1 machine out in front. As they come to the line, once again, we'll go green at lap number 45. Carter Casey leading from the 99 of Vinny Tigner, and then a bit of a space out as Nicholas Pressey now sees his teammate and Bryce Dossier get a lap back. And Carter Hansen retires to the 21st position. Dylan Butler now going to be in the 22nd spot. It's Aaron Brown in 23rd, and Max Weisner is in 24th. As it stands, Davis Lewis, the only man 1 lap down. I do believe that's because he was involved in the last 2 yellows. So he's had every opportunity to get to lucky dogs. And it seems like both cautions been part of the wreck, so nothing he can do so far. He'll just have to wait until the next one. If there is a next one, that remains to be seen. It is Carter Casey out in front, Vinny Tigner in second, and now Jordan Parker in third, with Kyle Jackson in fourth, and Christian Mullen in fifth. So it seems like some strategies paying out for the better right now. Will they pay out for the better later? It remains to be seen. Guys like Parker and Christian Mullen, we've seen them work together. Robert King seems to be on a very similar strategy there, and it seems like damage in that number 52 machine for Carden Hansen. Great to have you aboard watching, as of course not the best second start for you, of course a great one at Michigan, but nothing more can be done after engine problems later in the going here at Talladega. They can't be fixed all too well. Causes many great drivers to go out just like that. A bit of a roulette game here in Alabama, and we've seen it play out time and time again, but tonight a bit more pressure on the line as Casey leads them in. He's got Tigner right beside him, and then Jordan Parker and Kyle Jackson third and fourth. And as they all come down the line, this time through the iRacing official pace car lets them by just like that. He's going to be able to get right down in there, the number 51 now out of the going. Of course, it is the 52 out of the going, and the number 1 leading this field. Let's get it going once again. It is Carter Casey, position number 1. It's Kyle Jackson right there in third, and it is Vinny Tigner outside front row. Green flags out once again. Lap of the number 1, trying to lead the halfway mark with 2 laps to go until that point. And a much more spaced out start that time by for the 45th lap of competition. It is Jordan Parker right there with the man in that number 1. And now the high side's running big and running quick. Look at who's on the top spot. It's Nicholas Pressey way up high and way quicker. Now it's going to be Alec Daffin almost hanging out to dry. And Kenny Reels now quick on that middle lane. He keeps it right there with the Robert King machine. It is the number 1 of Carter Casey right there as well. Kenny Reel now has the number 1 right there with him, and despite some damage, he is still kicking just like that. Now Reel's inside the top 5 once again, and Jordan Parker is right behind the 85 as they come to the stripe this time through. It is Pressey out in front. Alec Daffin is in second, and then it's going to be the number 85 of Robert King in third. Parker now going to be able to find himself right down low with Carter Casey in the inside line, and now Kenny begins to fall back just a bit, and it looks like once again the B3 teammates locked up in line together, and they might be able to put some pedal to the metal and get the 23 back up front. And as they go through backstretch battling, it looks like that number 23 now has the work of 2 B3 drivers right behind him. Now, Davis Lewis and Lane Graves both have some major damage of their own, but they're working together and putting some speed back in there. Nicholas Pressey is up in front as their leader, but look who's now up in front. It's Kenny Reel leading the way as they come to the start-finish line. Will he lead the halfway mark? It looks like he just might. And at the line, make it that. Say it ain't so. With the 23 out in front. Kenny Reel has reeled them all back in and now finds himself leading 47 laps in, and only a total of now 48 laps to go. The cross flags will wave this time by, and they're 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Cody Webster going to be up high this time by halfway mark. We have made it to it, and now they're going to go the rest of the way, battling hard. Side by side, they keep it in touch. The number 91 machine right there on the high side. Kenny Reel going to be in the middle, but now they're going to go 4 wide for just a moment. And And while they keep it together, that could have been much, much worse. The Kenny Real machine now keeps it real in the middle lane. Nicholas Pressey has the edge on the inside line. And while the 94, we have not seen him for the first half of this race. He's coming alive at the midway break. And while he's got something going, we'll see if it sticks. Side by side they are for a second, but the 94 leads him in with now 47 laps remaining. And just like that, the race is all shuffled up. The 48 goes right up high, gonna block the 23. Now Robert King gonna be in second. Will he bring Davis Lewis with him? It looks like he just might. That will bring Jordan Parker there as well. And Parker stays on the inside line, but Davis Lewis blocks him just a bit and then lets him go down. And shuffling up, down they all are, and it looks like now that 65 gets connected with the 85, and Nicholas Pressey in the 94. Alec Daffin scored as your leading man. Then he goes down low, and now leads the inside line. It's Kenny Real in the middle, and then Cody Webster in the high side. Leads that pack, but it looks like it's fizzled out as now Nicholas goes up high, gets blocked by Alec Daffin, gonna be sideways. Nothing comes of it, and now the 23 has to battle back on the high line as Lane Graves now finds himself back up in front. Lane Graves, who got caught up in an earlier incident, is now back in there, and while we thought for some time it might have been done and done, the visible damage is not gonna stop him, and it seems like he's gonna try to be invincible tonight. Kenny Real gets hung out way, way high. We'll find out whether or not he slots in there. It looks like that he will, but the number 48 machine now going to get pushed down the back by the number 13. Down the back, they keep it driving. It's going to be Graves pushing Daffin as they come through a major advantage. And Alec might hang out the number 13 machine. Does he choose to? It looks like this time by... He does, and the 13 is going to be able to work there with the 16 uninterrupted. That might have been what he wanted, despite the fact he got hung out. And now the two teammates are uninterrupted. Clean air, 1-2 on the high side, and looking to go 1-2 overall. Of course, right now they can't, but Lane Graves with his teammate now takes the lead on the scoreboard. And while at the line, Alec Daffin gets it by only about a tenth of a thousandth of a second. It was a very close margin that might not mean much in the end of the day. The number 13 machine has a big run that time through, loses it. Now has Alec Daffin up in front as Michael Rosero splits him big as a lap machine. That could have been much, much worse. The 41 gets them all shoveled out. And while no incident, certainly not many drivers happy about just that. The 41 fades back big, not without a bang. And while every driver gets it going once again, the damage to the field in terms of its density, it is evident. We've all gotten spaced out. Now the field is separated by 3 seconds as Bryce Dalcier, way back on the field, is down by about 30 full seconds. Rosero tries to hang on to the pack. That he cannot, and he keeps it driving despite major damage at the line. Now Eric Heater's the leader, and just like that, a new man's on top in the Alpha Tauri, number 28. No fear for him. He's now up in front. And how about that? A big time maneuver for the 28. It looks like Max Wiesner now in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Great to have you. And we truly do hope to see you for the rest of the season. Of course, a rookie here, so sometimes things don't go your way the first try. But it does seem to get better. A lot of these guys who are new to the series have now found themselves up in front. It just takes time and a bit of effort, and we're sure to have a great time with yet another great new driver on the agenda. And right now, the 51 machine down and out in the 24th and last spot tonight. And a big wreck! Kenny Real going to be involved. Really big smoke show. He saves it. And it looks like the 13 gets it going as well. No yellow. I can't believe it. But Lane Graves is down and in. And we'll have to get another replay on this one. My, oh my, indeed. That's the number 13. That could be his race. Big time front end damage, and we'll find out just what happened. Kenny Real right there with him. We saw some contact. Robert King right there. Who starts this? The catalyst. We'll find out. It looks like the 23 tapped by Robert King into the 13. And then they keep making contact, and that ends up hurting the 13 much, much more. And as they beat and bang, Real gets away. But the 13... he does not. My, oh my, we're going to need a better angle on that one. I can't believe that save. And we'll take a look once again. 20 seconds back. And this one deserves a close-up drone shot. And Real, tapped by King, gets into Graves, keeps it going, puts the throttle down, and gets it going once again. Lane Graves saves it too, but Real gets it going, and it looks like the 23, while one lap down, is in a lot more trouble than we anticipated. Been on pit road for at least a minute here, and while it does look to be a bit of a better scenario than that 13, the front end pounded in much, much more. He'll pray for a yellow flag to get him going, Oh my, a big time hit. And now Kenny Rio gets it back going. Of course on pit road, but it seems like the motor is still good for him. Hopefully we see him back out there. It's been a great run for him so far. And he goes slipping and sliding all the way down to pit road. And it looks like Lane Graves gets taken with him. 42 laps remain here in Talladega, and Eric Heater leads the way. The track has gotten a bit wider for these drivers. Many guys falling out of the front of the field, and now that number 28 has a bit less competition to deal with. They're coming up on the Bryce Saucier machine. Bryce, of course, has major damage, and he goes down to the inside line. No fuss for him. He'll let them all go by without much hesitation, knowing there's not much more he can do but wait for a caution. If he brings one out, he'll be in much more trouble than anything else. So that number 4 stays with the 28 out in front. They're all keeping a double file. Nobody's going to take a 3 right now. We've seen multiple incidents without any yellow to go right there with them. You want to keep it there without much of a problem. Looks like Graves and Real are still on pit road here. My oh my, the damage seems to be a bit more than we anticipated for both of these drivers, and it might be a race ender for the both of them. 41 laps remaining. Alec Daffin stays out in front. It's Cody Webster in second and Luke Peters there in third as they come to the stripe to make it 40 laps remaining. It's Daffin who will be able to lead the way. The poster to Daytona, working with the winner of Daytona and Cody Webster as they come down the line once again. An undeniably great race so far with 40 laps to go, and now the best of the best are rising up in front. Alec Daffin, the 48 right there in first. It's Eric Heater in second, Cody Webster in third, Jordan Coots is in fourth, and Luke Peters is there in fifth. One man going to be shuffled big. That's going to be the 41 once again. They get by him, and while he shuffles them up once more, no incident once again. That catches us off guard, and that number 41 knows that he just stays there no matter what. He knows what he's got to do to get these guys all out of sort, and it looks like it works once again. Strikes fear in these drivers, and it gets them all bobbled out. And while we were going to mention a man who was in the 6th spot, he's now fallen back into 8th. It's Jordan Parker in that number 65. And he's proven to be one of the better guys in these super speedway races. Calm, collected. He knows this might be one of his only shots at a victory all season long, and he's taking it quite well. How about we take a look at the real onboard camera with that number 65? On most networks, you might see only a digital onboard camera, but let's make it real. Let's make it physical. We're riding on board with the number 65, and that is the sim rig right now for the Jordan Parker machine. It's going to be all about the wheel inputs right now as they're going to take it 3 with the Davis Lewis machine. Keeping it down low, very small adjustments, nice and smooth. That's what he needs inside that cockpit. And the Chevy Silverado keeps on the inside line now as he hangs tough with your leading pack. Cody Webster taking a step down low, the apron, he goes to it, and while the 65 keeps it nice and easy, he tries to keep up with the pack as well. Very tough battling up in front. You can see all the inputs on the right side of your screen, the main TV feed on the left. And this multi-view camera, it shows you everything that's great about sim racing. The racing might be online, but not only does it look realer and realer by the day, it feels realer. And with all the force feedback in the steering wheels, and some guys have full-on sim rig cockpits, it's almost like you're inside the trucks at the real Talladega. There's nothing quite like iRacing, as we've said time and time again. The best online simulation racing comes to you night after night on FTN, and tonight Jordan Parker sees himself get cut off big there by the number 16 and keeps it going nice and easy. We'll go right back to your TV feed though. The Jordan Parker machine is there in ninth, and your leading man is still Alec Daffin, looking for redemption from last time we went racing at a plate race at Daytona. Led the first just about 75 laps, only to get wrecked late in the racing. And now Eric Heater gets the lead once again. It's a back and forth toss and turn race, and Cody Webster now back in second, choosing the most successful drivers to keep a short-term run with, and he hangs out the number 28. Now Alec Daffin goes up and tries to save him, and it looks like that he will do. Going to be side by side, the 28 and the 91, and while Cody Webster knows there's no bad blood between himself and that number 28, bad blood can't be developed without a wreck here. And no, it's all about making the right moves, and while it might not be bad blood, it will be a bit of distrust, and maybe choosing some guys over others. As soon as Alec Daffin saw the opportunity to work with Eric Heater, he took it, and he knows that might pay dividends at the end of the race. If he can work with that 28 instead of working with the number 91, maybe Eric Heater will be more likely to work with Alec at the checkered flag. So if you work with these guys more and more now, you'll get more of a reputation in a positive light, and that could carry you all the way to the end of the show. With 36 laps to go, every move here now matters more than anything earlier in the going. And as they keep it side by side out in front, it is still the man in that number 91 leading, goes way up high with the bobble, and it's going to be almost a turn there as the 28 has none of it. He does not stop at all. No stopping that time through, and while Webster keeps it going, it could have been much, much worse. And it looks like Eric now going to go down to the inside line and keep himself there, cutting his losses in the thick of it. Robert King going to be side by side with Alec Daffin, side by side, double file through they go, and that could have been much, much worse, but thankfully it was not. Great heads-up driving there to keep these guys under green. We do not want to see going to yellow, that's for certain. This green flag racing is as intense as it gets, and it proves to be night after night in this league, and tonight has been no different. Right now, it looks like the Robert King machine falls back big as Jordan Parker comes in. No, he's going to spin, and we have yet another incident on the circuit, and let's find out just what happened as the 65 finds himself out of control. And that is a perplexing one even from that angle, so we'll try to take a better look from the rear end cam once again. Jordan Parker in the number 65, and he goes down and around. It looks like he's there on his own, and then Pressy taps him at the back of the field, and he finds himself all out of luck, tries to straighten it, straightens it once, straightens it twice, and then finds himself drifting out of line. The money line border of the wall, he almost hits it, then finds himself sideways after all, indeed. Right now, Christian Mullen going to be down on pit road, and the 65 of Jordan Parker caught up big in that wreck, but Alec Daffin, 61 laps in, leads him at a 62. At this rate, he's got the number 16 of Davis Lewis right behind him. That's not a man contending for the race lead at the moment. The lap machine right there, he does have a bit of a buffer compared to someone like the Robert King machine. Robert King in that number 85, having his magnum opus of a race so far in this series, running up there in the podium. This could be his final shot at a win all season long, and we can see that he's right now laying back, making sure he just strikes at the last few moments. The pit cycle might be on its way sometime soon. We've seen some drivers coming already, others choosing to wait until later, and the 48 makes it through that time by the lead with now only a total of 33 laps remaining. And take a look at that single file, and it looks like it might be coming to the drivers' heads that they might have to calm it a bit more down. A few guys coming. Carter Casey going to be up there, notably, but Alec Daffin now has the good majority of the field up in front there with him, and it seems like now the mentality has switched just a bit. It might be a bit more calm up in front now as they all are being led by one driver, not contending for various spots like we saw beforehand, and this shift in attitude might take them all the way to the checkered flag. However, that still appears to be quite unlikely as the 48 machine does not come out of pit road that time by. He still has the field in his fingertips, and he now has a pack of just about 9. Carter Casey going to be in the 10th spot right now, and this single file field goes in, goes out just like that, and now they're not working for any position, waiting to hold on until the very end and perhaps make some moves from there. We'll find out what they can do, as it seems like waiting is the best thing for them. The waiting game being played here at Talladega, and they are now trying to log laps, and this is the first time we've said it all night long. Logging laps might just do it in this situation. Not much to be racing for right now as they come through the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. You just get these laps down, not risk your car, your truck in this case, and just get to the next pit cycle, get to the next lap, and eventually get to the last lap. You're in a much better case than if you raced aggressive situation just like this. So racing right now has come down to just getting lap in, lap out. And it's almost like getting in your steps and situations, getting in your calories, your diet, what have you. Just get in your laps and get there to the finish. That's the game plan here for guys like Luke Peters, as Peters right now runs in 4th. And G-Force Racing has had a great season so far with Rosero and the number 4 machine, Luke Peters, being the guys who have carried the torch for that group all season long. And tonight it is no different, running very well so far in that Ford F-150, and looking to come off with yet another chance at the checkered flag. Will it come to him tonight? Well, we'll find out. It looks like it's oh so close right now. Who's to say it can't? Well, it's all up to what these guys do with it. Now they're going to be double file. Bryce Sierra's pack right there in the mix. And now, as a few drivers back in the field fade back, Mullen, Saucier, Lane Graves, they get by with ease, and Alec Daffin keeps it going. As it stands, it looks like Kenny Real going to be done and done 13 laps down following that incident, and Michael Rosero 9 laps down. And it looks like, despite all the damage we saw on that number 13, Lane Graves keeps it going, and he's only 4 laps down despite the front end contact. So while we thought he might have been the man who got off worse, it looks like he's still going, and Kenny Real is not. We'll hope to see Kenny back for the remainder of the season, as we see him in chat right now, and it looks like not the best effort in the conclusion, but certainly the 20th place finish does not speak to the efforts we saw on the track. Alec Daffin leads the way in that number 48 as Jordan Kuntz there in 2nd. Luke Peters in 3rd, and now they come down to pit road, and this could be the money spot as everyone comes in. That's Talon Drake, and the rest of the field comes in without an issue. Once again, green flag stops. No, Alec Daffin has a problem, and while he keeps it going, that might have been a violation. We'll find out as they all come into pit road, and we'll get that replay when they go into their stops. And 65 laps in, just like that, that could have been a violation on Alec Daffin's end. And I'm not quite sure. He got it back on his way, got it 2 tires on the yellow line, but did not exit the yellow line. So we'll see what the verdict is for the man who's led this race for the fast 15 laps. And we've seen him time after time find himself, quite frankly, caught up in pit road action and chaos. And that's in a negative light. We'll see whether or not it's a penalty. And it looks like that it will be. My oh my. And Alec Daffin, big time, got caught out. Put 2 tires off of pit road. Now he's still there on pit road to this point. 29 laps to go. I can't believe it. How about that? Jordan Kuntz up in front. Cody Webster there in 2nd. It's going to be William Schmidt in 3rd. And it looks like right now, all get it going once again. 3 wides are going to be in the action. Packed zone of the field once again, indeed. And Kenny Real saying he was just running up in front. I don't believe he said he was running scared, but it looks like it could have been caution up in front and then getting up to the front. We saw him push as hard as he could. Had a lot of drivers going with him. And at the end of the day, the 22 machine, well, the 23 in this league, found himself up front until that incident. 29 laps to go, make it 28. A few drivers are retirees on night already, but most of these guys are still kicking. 19 still on the track and 15 still in the lead lap. Last of which, Jordan Parker due to be put 1 lap down this time by. And as Parker comes through, we're still waiting to see the result of the overall battle in this strategy. Carter Casey might lead the way right now, but it's guys like Luke Peters on the newer set trying to get back up to him. Looks like him, Robert King, Christian Mullen, Talon Drake, and Alec Daffin especially are in big time trouble. Daffin gets with Talon Drake, but now it's only a field of 9 drivers contending up in front, and they came down to pit road as recent as 2 laps ago. So a very small field up in front now, and as everyone's dissipated from this contending pack, it's going to come down to these guys if they can just get it to the checkered flag. And we've seen it being a bit contentious up in front. Many guys get shuffled in, shuffled out, and right now, with so few guys up in front, you can't afford to be as risky as you could have been before. Now, patience might be a bit more key, and as they come through at the end of the day, maybe it might be that number 91 machine who keeps it going down the back. And as you take a look at that, Carter Casey keeps them right in tow. 27 laps to go. He's got that lead, and with 27 remaining, it still seems he's got a good shot at making it to the checkered flag. He's avoided all the incidents so far, and down to the inside line, Cody Webster takes him, and now it's Eric Heater making the move for second. Double foul to be besides the top two guys, and 27 make it 26. It is Cody Webster in the mix, and now make it lap number 69. A nice run so far, but it is far from over. Webster, your leader right now, going to be Eric Heater in second, Matthew Weeks going to be in third, and Nicholas Presley going to be in fourth. And as they come through the backstretch, you can see how few drivers are still in contention. We've seen many fall out of favor. It looks like Michael Rosario now down and out for tonight in the 19th position, but still many keep it going, waiting for perhaps another yellow. Guys like Jordan Parker, they need a better run than this to make it into the playoff race. It might not head their way if they find themselves outside the top 10 or top 15. But right now, their single file logging lap seems to be the way to go up in front. And that is indeed what we're seeing from guys like Davis Lewis, as right now Lewis leads the leaders. Cody Webster, though, is your overall top spot in this time and scoring standing. And Davis Lewis might have been one of the most upfront guys all night long, just regardless of his position. We've seen him up in front, not only in position, but as a lap machine where he is right now, and he has been impacting these guys all night long. While involved in a few incidents, overall, he still is up there on pace, and if he does get a shot to get up there with a perhaps lucky dog scenario, you know that he will take it. As a matter of fact, right now, Davis Lewis is scored as the last man on the lead lap in 15th, and he's just barely in that spot with the 91 holding on to him right now. But looks like Nicholas Presley gonna go right up high, and he'll try to make a battle for lead once again, which will swallow the 16 back out of the lead lap. And as they come to the stripe that time by Nicholas Presley, the leader with 71 laps in the book so far. Two-car tandem breaks away once again, and they might begin to shuffle just like that. It might be to go away with the intent 2-wide, 3-wide racing, and instead making two-car tandems going up in front in the pack and going back as well. It could be smaller movements made by smaller groups that define the rest of this race. Will that be the choice these drivers want to make? I'm not quite sure, but that might be the choice they have to make as this race comes down to its final moments. 24 laps remaining here in Talladega. Cody Webster gets caught up in the big time, and it looks like he's going to go down to the apron, take a step down, but keep it racing. Nice to see. No caution as everyone keeps it going strong, waiting for the checkered flag to fall in a few laps time. And it looks like logging laps has become the big strategy. Guys like Alec Daffin and Talon Drake pushing as hard as they can. 46 seconds off your leader. Christian Mullen, Robert King, Luke Peters all out of cycle, but it looks like the rest of these guys keep it going. 9 drivers up in front with 23 laps remaining. And with 22 laps to go on the horizon, you know what that means as well as anyone else. Track cams for Gorman's, the best cameras on iRacing, and we hope you enjoy watching them as we enjoy using them. So we're going to crank it up with 22 laps to go, comparing ourselves not to anyone else with the best cameras on the business. TrackCams22.com. They are the place to go for iRacing cameras, for broadcasts, screenshots, and all the above. Visit Track Cams for Gormans for more information as we crank it up with 22 to go, courtesy of TrackCams22.com. Let's rev it up here on FTN. And with 19 laps to go, moves are due to be made, I'll tell you that much. As right now, Webster gets right by Lane Graves. We're back in action here in the B3 Design 250 at Talladega. After I crank it up, Matthew Weeks leads the way, and it's Nicholas Pressey in the position number 2. And as we have gone through 76 laps so far, we're coming down to the final stretch. And as you might have seen during our crank it up, all the 9 guys up in front have stayed single file, waiting to make a move. They got 37 seconds on the next guy, so right now for them it is not about aggression at all. You just want to make it to the checkered flag and stay in the running until then. And that seems to be the game plan for everyone up front. Nobody is risking anything right now, and if you can make it to the end, that's the game plan. So stick around for this finish. I'll guarantee you it will be much more exciting than what you're seeing right now. William Schmidt stays intact there with the number 65 machine. That's Jordan Parker. And while these guys might not be up in front right now, I tell you what, they will get there at the tail end of this one. They'll go until the lights turn off here at Talladega, and the aggression, it will be seen unlike anything you've seen so far in this race. At Daytona, they got to this point at the end of the race, waited until the very end, and then it got dicey. We got 3-wide racing at the tail end of it, and I tell you what, might just see that again. 18 laps to go, 78 laps in, and now we're coming to 17 laps to go as the high side sees one man go. That's going to be Matthew Weeks, and the inside is occupied with the 94 and the 91, first and second. Dribbling through, it's going to be the inside line and led by the 94 of, well, Nicholas Pressey. That's going to be Cody Webster in position number 2. Following him, going to be Eric Heater, and then it will be Jordan Coots in the 00. 4 cars up in front. It's going to be a pair of Fords, first and then fourth, and in between them are going to be the second and third Toyota Tundras of the 91 and 28. A Ford and Toyota sandwich, and then you'll have to go back to the Davis Lewis machine, who's not in 5th. He is just in the 5th in line, and then you'll see it's Matthew Weeks right behind him in another Toyota, the first Chevy in tonight's ordeal. It will be the 6th position. Carter Casey, your pole position sitter. Well, earlier in the going, he was there. Right now, he is not running up in front. He'll just have to wait to get there, as right now, he stays in position number 6. He still is in good company with guys like Matthew Weeks, so nothing much to be worried about, but maybe he'll just have to back off early to get there late. That might be the game plan for the man in that number 1 machine. Casey holds on strong, and it looks like he still has a shot to get there at the end. So no concern right now, no cause for concern, as he still has a clean truck. He has one of the cleanest trucks of all the night, and it looks like it could be good to go till the end. 18 laps to go is now falling to 16 laps to go, and the number 94 machine will lead him down to 15. Nicholas Pressey takes him in once again, single file led by him, and we're gonna make it, yes indeed, 15 laps remaining here in Talladega. Gonna be Cody Webster there in second, Eric Heater is in third, Jordan Coots is gonna be in the 4th spot, and then it is Matthew Weeks in 5th. We'll see who's going to be able to get this one done. Right now, again, the rookies occupy the top 5, 2 of the top 5 spots, and all those drivers with green spoilers, where they are rookies. The playoffs have not been set, but they could be shifted if another underdog finds himself in victory lane. So far, no cause for a caution in the foreseeable future. The way these guys are driving, we have not seen any chance for a spin, as the lap machines stay up high and choose not to occupy the leading drivers and their space. The 94 still has the 91 right behind him, and they'll stay first and second without much competition. And making it 15 to 14 laps remaining, they are still logging laps up in front. There's not much more that can be said or done about how the guys are racing right now, as long as they keep it racing with motor, well, they'll be good for a chance at the finish. So right now, they're not going to go and try to pass each other. They'll just try to make it to the checkered flag, and the white flag lap is when things will get a bit dicey. Nicholas Pressey, while being your leading man, knows that he is not in that catbird seat, and when it all comes down to it, you might just want to be there at the end of the day. Right now, he certainly is not there, and while he wants to be, maybe in some sense, getting laps led is another good thing for him. That number 94 knows that any chance to lead is better than none, and he's taking it in stride as 14 laps remain, and he's got himself a good shot at the victory. A baker's dozen to do it this time by, and it will be that number 94 leading them, with lap number 83 being put on the board this time by, and make that the next as 82 laps in, 13 laps remain, and Nicholas Pressey leads Cody Webster with Eric Heater still there in third. And when it all comes down to this, you beg to wonder what will these guys in the back of the field do with all this on the line. Jordan Parker comes down in for what could be his last stop of the night. It's Christian Mullen there as well, and that is a reminder. Some drivers will have to pit, and some will have to do it sooner than later. Many guys in the 21-lap old tire stint, and it seems like Nicholas Pressey, one of which will have to come in sooner than later, and we'll see if the 94 makes his way in this time by. This time he will not. It seems like the maximum these guys can run on one stint is about 25 laps. Right now he's got 21 of those 25 on his right now. And Cody Webster leads a good majority of the field, who has 17 out of 25 on his stint. So he'll come down with very little time remaining, and now it's going to be a 3-car breakaway on that 94. Webster takes him high. Then it's going to be Nicholas Pressey in second. It will be Eric Heater in third, and Jordan Kuntz in fourth. And 12 laps to go. Now it's going to be a big breakaway with Webster in the first spot, Eric Heater in second, and Jordan Kuntz there in third. These guys break away big. Now Nicholas Pressey beg to question for his sake. What can he do? Well, it looks like the draft is going to play him back into the equation. He gets lucky in that sense that they can't pull away all too much, and now he has them in his sight once again. Driving through, the number 94 will go down to the inside line to pit, and it looks like that will be it. Michael Deitch in chat, thank you for stopping by. We hope to have you next week racing, as tonight has been one hell of a show. Right now, they're logging laps, though, and the final few laps will be the most exciting of them all. So stick around for that if you can. We'd love to have you aboard. 22 lap stint for Nicholas Pressey. Many more are going to try to make it 23 and 24 as we have 11 laps remaining on the board. And with now only 11 laps remaining, it is Eric Heater all over the back bumper of Cody Webster. Let's take a look on board and see what's going on for this number 28 machine. Eric Heater has his sights set on the top spot right now. Webster's 91 is the only thing in his way. And as they come through, it's going to be the 28 pushing as hard as he can. As they come through the start-finish line, it'll be 10 laps to go, and Nicholas Pressey gets back on the move as a few drivers come in. It's going to be Jackson, Tigner, and Carter Casey on the 24th lap of their stint. So cutting it a bit shorter than they'd expect to. It's going to be now Webster facing unprecedented change in this race. He'll have to come in with less than 10 laps to go. And at any track that's going to be dicey, at Talladega, it might be one of the diciest scenarios to be in. If possible, you'd want to avoid it, but it looks like it will be impossible to avoid. With 85 laps in, there is still one more mandatory pit stop for every driver if they want to keep on contending. And with now the 91 machine leading them into this pit cycle, he will have that dominance coming in, and it looks like that is going to be the case. They all come in this time by. Going to be a big send there for the 00 machine. Will Jordan Kuntz make it work? They all come in without much a hitch, and it looks like they will drive in without a problem. Everyone comes in just like that, and that will be the final run of pit stops, led by Cody Webster. He'll come in this time by. No violations on the pit stop for them. And right now, Alec Daffin finds himself in a new groove, but he is going to, of course, have to pit one more time as he's way off the cycle in his own right. And now a new pack forms up in front. Carter Casey now has to run the lap of his life. He's now only about 12 seconds off your leader, and with only 10 laps remaining, he might be the man who gets the lead at the end of this cycle. We'll find out, though. Make it 9 laps to go, and Carter Casey gonna cross the stripe just about now. He's 6 seconds off. Is right now Webster putting the power down big through the pit exit. It's Carter pushing as hard as he can with all his might. He's got Jackson, he's got Tigner right there with him. What will it be? He's gonna be able to catch up to one driver. 9 laps to go, we have a caution. And who will be the reason? I don't know just yet for sure, but I believe it's going to be Jordan Parker. Let's take a look, and that it is. My oh my, that's a big hit to cut to. And the 65 finds himself destroyed on the caution he oh so desperately needed. And a big time hit for the man in that number 65. That's Jordan Parker. He gets into Nicholas Pressey, and they make contact once, twice, and then it's going to be thrice for Parker as he gets hit by Christian Mullen, and a slam right in to the front stretch pit wall, and that will be his race. Just like that, all that time waiting, and the number 65 gets back on the move. Let's take a ride on the roll bar with the 65 through that incident. And the motor went. That is it. No matter what he can do, there's nothing he can do. And it all comes down to that incident. The number 65 of Jordan Parker is going to be done. Christian Mullen certainly has some damage on it. And Nicholas Pressey, he might have gotten a saving grace there as he does not have much damage after that. That will end Parker's race and perhaps his championship chances, killing two birds in one stone. Alec Daffin gets a big save here. He has been off cycle for over 25 laps, and suddenly his pit road mistake means nothing. He's going to be back on the lead lap. He did not fall off the lead lap, and the pit cycle keeps him on there. He'll get one free stop for service, and we'll see if Cody Webster opts to take one. It looks like that he will not. 7 laps to go this time by, and a good majority of the leaders do not come down pit road. Alec Daffin does not as well, so it looks like he'll just stay on what he's got for now at the very least. The pit road might not even be open following that incident. And how about that? The tides are a-turning, and we are going to have what looks to be just about a 5-lap shootout. How about it? Now, Alec Daffin comes down to pit road. Good majority of the field does as well. And Jordan Parker's destroyed. Number 65 might just be our pit road camera here, as he'll be the benchmark for who comes out first and who comes out next. It looks like right now Matthew Weeks will be the first man out. Easily he will be. And then it will be the 79 of William Schmidt right there with him from there on out. Who's going to be next? It looks like it will be the number 1 of Carter Casey. Then it will be Vinny Tigner, then Kyle Jackson, then Alec Daffin, and then it will be the number 75 of Christian Mullen. Right now, nobody on that circuit. 88 laps in the front stretch. It is empty. Every driver either in the middle of turns 1 and 2 or on pit road. This race has just gotten nuts, and we will have 5 laps of green flag racing to decide your race winner at the end of the day. My oh my, it all comes down to this after almost 85 laps of green flag racing and almost 90 laps of racing overall. This will be the deciding factor as 88 laps in, we have caution number 4. And now Cody Webster in a position similar to Daytona, up in front with very little time. What will he do to replicate that success if he can? Well, we'll find out, of course. That's always what we say, but there's many ways he can do it. Of course, he can try to stay up in front, keep a defense on the mind. He's been able to defend quite well so far, keeping himself up in the top 2, top 3 before the pit cycle, or he could choose to lay back and come and strike later. That seems to be a strategy that's worked time and time again in this league before, and it might be able to work once again. So if he chooses to do that, he might be able to maybe save himself from getting wrecked, but it also does not guarantee that he'll be able to make it there all the way at the end of the line. He might be caught up in the back of the pack, and that will be bad news on his end. So all that being said, might just try to be aggressive, might try to conserve a bit, try a less aggressive approach. And with all that said and done, the driver in that number 91 lead us in to 6 lap to go point. It will be a total of 5 laps at most we'll have remaining to get this one going. And the racing will be back on its way, and it's going to be more intense than what we've seen in quite some time. These drivers are all amped up. Energy is at its all-time high. We'll find ourselves racing for it all once again. It is, of course, the 91 of Cody Webster leading. Then it will be Jordan Kuntz in second. Eric Keeter going to be in position number 3, and then it will be in position number 4. Now, Matthew Weeks, William Schmidt. This could be his first win of the season, and it could punch his ticket into the playoffs. He was a championship contender last season. Will he be one again? We'll find out. The 79 now in his best chance for victory. Of course, a driver for SKS Motorsports, one of the owners of that team, and the owner-driver looks to find himself as the winner here in Talladega as they go down the Alabama gang super stretch once again. All signs point to one chaotic finish. Lap 90 will go back green as the back stretch is all occupied. Davis Lewis now getting back on his way. And my oh my, Davis Lewis, after oh so long outside of it, back on the lead lap. How about all that? As we now have 6 laps remaining. Some drivers you thought were out for good are now back, and some drivers who had a shot, well, they now seem to be down and out. Jordan Parker will take an 18th place finish at the very best, and that will be all she wrote for, I believe, any chances at the title. Now, very little remaining. Let's get right back at it. 5 laps to decide the win, and it will be 5 to drive for the 91 of Cody Webster. It's a Toyota and a blue oval right beside him. Then we've got yet another 2 Toyotas right there in 3rd and 4th. And even 5th, you'd have to go back down to position number 6 in Vinny Tigner, and actually position number 7 now in Tigner to find one of them Chevy. So let's get right back into it this time by. It's going to be the 91 and the 00 going back at it, battling for a championship and battling for a Daytona type win. Once again, the Super Speedway's back in action for both drivers, and your Daytona winner leads the way with 5 laps to go. And just like that, side by side, all over again. This is when it gets intense. 5 laps remaining, and after all the laps they got logged down, it seems like we're back at the full throttle pace. Cody Webster going to block down low once again, and he seems to have it all covered down. Jordan Coots going to be right there with him. Coots scoots him up high just a bit. Not much going to be able to take. Matthew Weeks up high, tries to make it happen, and it looks like he'll have a bit of momentum. That time through, make it 4 laps to go. They'll come to the start-finish line, and Eric Heater blinks out just a bit, but the number 11 now is a shot at the checkered flag. Unlike any time before, make it 4 laps to go, and now the 11 is back out in front. Look who's right there with them, though. That's William Schmidt in that number 79. He knows this will be it. Any final words for him? Well, it looks like he'll try to go out with a position number 1. He wants to get into the championship race, and this could be his time to shine. As they come down the back, he's right there with the 11, and he'll be right there until the checkered flag is in the air. It's an alliance with the Toyotas now, but it looks like the 11 goes down low, and Schmidt's out to dry with Alec Daffin. That chases it all over again, and now the number 11 leads the way with Cody Webster right there with him. And Webster was back in the Truck Series. He came back in Michigan, wrecked very early, but tonight it seems like it's going to be a redemption for him as he keeps it up high, keeps it with Jordan Coots. One driver sideways! Does he save it? No! And that might be a yellow flag, I'm not quite sure. And it looks like big time trouble, but no yellow, as it looks like Eric Heater inexplicably was two-wheeling it for about 200 feet. I don't know what to say about that one. I mean, you can see he's all sideways, and he's still driving it. And then he gets it back on the way, and there's no yellow for that one. He just loses the control, and that might be his race. But he kept it straight. I can't believe that. That might be the best race save in this entirety of the B3 Designs 250, and we'll have to take it on board for that one. I tell you what, we'll go back to that post-race. The lead battle is still intense as they come off to 2 laps to go this time by. 92 laps in, Jordan Coots goes way high that time by, and the number 11, the JD Designs number 11, goes right there with them. Take a look at the battle, make it 3 laps to go, and now 2 laps to go, as everyone still is contending for this win. Eric Heater falls 15 seconds back. He'll need a hero and a caution if he has any chance to get this win. Cody Webster goes up high. That time by makes it middle. And now it's going to be William Schmidt bursting down to the inside line as it's going to be Webster blocking big up high. Vinny Tigner has none of it now. Tigner tries to get clear of him. And they'll be dead even coming into turn number 3. William Schmidt tries to make it happen, goes down low. He's got a chance at it. Jordan Coots going to be side by side with him. Can Cody Webster clear the inside line? That time by, he can not. It's 2 laps to go this time through, but it will be 1 lap to go if they get back to the white flag. No caution from there. If they do throw a caution, it will be the race in its entirety, called just like that. 1 lap to go, led by your Daytona winner, Cody Webster, and he could go back to back on the super speedways just like that. Vinny Tigner going to be up high, 3 wide. They'll be going multiple rows deep, and now William Schmidt needs to turn on the jets right down low. Going to be able to bobble down the middle of pack here. Webster goes up high to block Vinny Tigner. Going to be a bit of a shuffle. Tigner pushing as hard as he can inside that number 99 machine. You know he's pushing as hard as he can indeed. We'll take a look, and it looks like that he is. 3 wide they are right now. Jordan Coots has the lead, and they're going to wreck. Everyone wrecks. Big time battle, and it comes into a big time wreck. Number 99 round motor blown, but Jordan Coots leads the way. The 79 William Schmidt in the wall now, and it's going to come down to 2 drivers. The 00 leads the way, but Carter Casey has a run. What will he do with it? And as they come through the front stretch, he goes up high. He can't go down low, and at the line, it looks like it's going to be a side-by-side finish. And Jordan Coots does not win. Carter Casey, by 38 thousandths of a second, is your winner in the B3 Designs 250 at Talladega. I can't believe it. The number 1 converts a pole position to a walk-off finish. Welcome to the playoffs, Carter Casey. You're a winner in the Redline Truck Series. What a finish indeed. And let's take a look at that last lap first. I can't believe it. This is 60 seconds before the first incident. And you can see Alec Daffin hit by Peters, hit by Talon Drake. Big time hit, multiple drivers in the air by that point. And Schmidt was still going. Guys like Webster got caught up in it, but William Schmidt then finds himself in the wall. And we'll find out why. It looks like he goes into Carter Casey, and yeah, Casey tags him. And the 79 finds himself absolutely destroyed in the catbird seat to win. And that will be it, as Casey now finds himself in a drag race at the line. Take a look at this one as they come through. It's that number 1 machine pushing with all his might. And Coots makes a great defensive move up high. But at that point, not much more you can do but let the drag race go to the end. That's exactly what he did. Carter Casey just beats him out of the line, squeaking out the victory, getting it done just like that. Now, I gotta say the save of the race before we get your race results, and that was the Eric Heater machine. Unbelievable save for him. Take a look at this once again, and we'll ride on board because this one is inexplicable without any further context. Let's take a look. Riding aboard, 2-wheeling, and saving it. And my, oh my, while he lost a shot of the win, he kept it going. That's the save of the race for that number 28 machine. And what a win it was for Carter Casey in that number 1. As the finish replays itself, the Carter Casey machine is there on the front stretch right now, still celebrating it. And we'll back it up to the burnout for this number 1 as Casey celebrates the finish in style. Carter Casey gets it done, and your race results will be on your screen, and we'll be able to get the interviews shortly thereafter. So stick around, as this one's been exciting all night long, and Carter Casey gets it done in Talladega. Just like that, Carter Casey comes out victorious in the B3 Designs 250, just over Jordan Coots by 38 1/1000ths of a second. It's going to be Nicholas Pressey in 3rd, Luke Peters, position number 4, and Alec Daffin in 5th, with Davis Lewis in position number 6. It's going to be Robert King in 7th, Kyle Jackson in 8th, and Talon Drake in 9th, with Vinny Tigner 8 seconds off, rounding out your top 10. From position number 11, going to be William Schmidt, who was in 2nd with about 1,000 feet to the line, and then Eric Heater was the save of the race in position number 12. Matthew Weeks in 13th, and Cody Webster at first lap down in 14th, and your retirees go from there. And Bryce Dacier 15th, Lane Graves in 16th, and Christian Mullen in 17th. Jordan Parker, position number 18, Michael Rosero 19th, and Kenny Reel, your debutant in 20th, your top debutant of the race in 20th indeed. And then Arden Hansen 21st, Dylan Butler 22nd, Max Wiesner going to be in 23rd. Another debutant in Aaron Brown in 24th as the number 1 gets his burnout going right in front of the start-finish line. Let's watch it uninterrupted. And Carter Casey held this race together from start to finish. The man who ends up in the pole position ends up as your race winner as well. And as he burns down the house, we'll get him in for an interview in just a moment. How about that? And burning it down until the tail end, that number 1 machine finds himself in position number 1. What a way to win it, as Carter Casey's burnout has what appears to be no end, but he's already ready to talk to us. So how about we get that man in? And how about that? It's one stellar finish as he blows out the motor. How about it? Time and time again, the stands are packed, and Carter Casey comes home as your race winner. The B3 Designs 250 at Talladega. Pole position converted to a victory. How do you feel after this one?
Yeah, it feels good, man. Had some good teamwork come into play, and just tried to keep the truck clean middle of the race, and just played the strategy right, and just let them kind of sort themselves out at the end and hope you miss it. That's kind of what took place there.
And it looks like strategy was all about everything: the tires, the fuel, the people you worked with. So what was the big factor that set you apart all race long? Because it seems like not only did you have that 1 lap speed in qualifying, you had it throughout the race, and you were able to stick in with everyone no matter what.
I think it was just picking time and place and understanding where you're at on the green flag cycle of stops, where you want to be, not necessarily wanting to be middle of 3 wide right before you come on the pits. And pitting with a few less people was pretty much key. You get in and out of the pits a lot faster as opposed to pitting with about 8 to 10 people. If you did about 4 people, you can make some really good time, and felt good about our chances before that last caution came out. And it just sort of played out the way it did, and I think with or without that last caution, I think we stood a really good chance, and thankfully got it in victory lane.
And that last caution set up for a 5-lap dash. Now we know you came out at the tail end of that one as the winner, but do you think that you played it all perfect? Quite frankly, there's nothing else you could have done. Just stuck to the inside line and trusted your gut there. It got really hectic. So what was your thoughts in that final segment, that last dash?
I thought I was going to have to push the 79 to a win, and things kind of cleared out. I have to go back, and I think there's a little bit of contact between him and I, or if it was net code, I have to go back. If it was contact, I do apologize. But it was just at that point there was nowhere else to go. We're 3, I think probably 4 wide. Like being out, if you're 3rd car back on the outside or middle, you're just stuck. At least if you're on the inside, you kind of have somewhere to go. And I just held to it, and they wrecked in a 3, and I was one of the last people standing, thankfully.
And there at the end, and that's what matters in this situation, and that makes you a race winner in this league and a walk-off win coming into the championship hunt. The playoffs going to be on its way very soon, and if you weren't locked in already, well, you're really good on points. You got yourself in with the win. So what's next on the schedule? Well, that will be Darlington to kick off the chase for the championship. What's your game plan coming to the Lady in Black next time we go racing?
I just let everything sort out on the restart and let the truck come to me. Hopefully we don't get piled up on a restart, and just kind of file out and keep it clean. And I like that track. I like it a lot. You got a lot of fast guys in here that like that track as well. So hopefully we get top 5 out of that, or top 10. I'd be happy with that. Definitely one of my favorite tracks, though.
And due for one great race, it's Carter Casey who gets it done in the B3 Designs 250 at Talladega and putting himself into the playoff picture. We go racing once again at Talladega. So any final thoughts, anyone else you'd like to thank after your first win of the season?
I just got to thank GM Racing, all my teammates, Vinny Tigner, Kyle Jackson, all those guys that just help me in week in and week out, and yeah, it's just fun working with those guys. So a big thank you to those guys.
And a great race with all the help that he needed. Carter Casey gets himself in for his first one of the season here in Talladega. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
There we have it. Casey going to be on his way, and the Jordan Kuntz machine comes home in second in the 0-0. So close in that drag race to the line. How do you feel after this one?
I feel lucky that I made it to the end. Not everyone did, and definitely he made some really good calls early on in the race with riding in the back, letting everyone be aggressive, and then whenever I got people that I knew I could trust up at the front, I went aggressive and was having fun with all of them, especially the ones that were in the voice chat with me. But it was a very strategic race up until the late race caution, and then it just turned into a luck race and who could get the best position coming to the tri-oval.
And it seems like that final run at the tri-oval in the final 5 laps that came before it were all that mattered at the end of the day. And you positioned yourself quite well to find yourself in the winning battle. So what kept you up there? We saw tire strategy, we saw wreck avoidance, we saw all of the above. Was the most important for you in your chase for the victory?
Well, I didn't really do a lot of wreck avoiding today. It was either like right in or well in front of me or well behind me. So I got lucky in that case. But in the end, it was just unfortunate with, I think, Cody's wreck caused the outside lane to die, and kind of, I think honestly that cost me the chance of winning, and maybe William getting turned. But it was just unlucky positioning coming into the tri-oval with Carter having such a big run.
And it looks like that final run took it away from yet another victory. But the good news for you is you are still locked into the championship chase regardless. So the Lady in Black in Darlington is next up on the schedule. What's it going to take to come out on top there?
Well, I won't be racing at Darlington. I'll be at the NASCAR race in North Wilkesboro that day. So I'm lucky this season to gotten so many playoff points that I can afford this. So I'm in a position to where I can afford to miss a race and going to go out and win the next one.
And one of the winningest drivers all season long in Jordan Kuntz, putting himself in a nice position for the championship hunt and coming home in second. Want to find a great points race before the playoffs begin. Thank you for your time. Any final thoughts? And anyone else you'd like to thank?
I'd like to thank you for all the work you put into the broadcast and the Road to Pro broadcast, everyone out there who watches and everyone who supports me.
And there we have it. Jordan Kuntz comes home second on the board here in the B3 Designs 250. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
There we have it. Nicholas Pressey. I tell you what, at the end of the day, he got caught up in that final incident, but he was able to work his way back up for what I believe is his best finish on the season, the 94 podium finish here in Talladega. How do you feel after this one?
I feel great. On iRacing, I'm starting to feel like I'm really getting a knack for finishing exactly third place at Talladega and nowhere else. So, you can imagine, it seems that every time the circumstances just get a little bit wackier for how I get there. That being said, it was a very up and down race, for me and Bryce. Fuel mileage was, pretty, very pertinent for us for the start of the race. Geez, what a gaffe. And once the caution around lap 40 came out, we said, around like lap 44, I'd say. Yeah, we said, you know what, let's go all out, but maybe not get into wrecks. And then immediately there was a wreck with one of us in it. And I got in a couple scrapes myself. Not sure how I still had a car capable of going back to the front. I think I took a full minute's worth of damage throughout this race. And then I'm almost going through 3 or 4 wrecks just in like the last 5 laps of the race. I almost got wrecked in like turn 1 of something that happened like maybe 3 to go. And then there's the last lap where I almost got turned out of 2. And all the crazy stuff that happened in turn 3 of narrowly avoiding a car that's flipping out of 4. and suddenly I find myself on this podium.
And it might have been sudden in that explanation, but it seems like up and down, it all came down to that final segment. We saw you involved in quite a lot of action, so what kept you up there in spite of all the perhaps chaotic motion that you found yourself in?
I think this is an apt summation. As Professor McConaughey will probably say, it would be 5 points for sheer dumb luck. Talladega is a very unpredictable place. We all know that. And especially when fuel is nothing of a concern anymore, so there's no longer an incentive there's not nearly as much an incentive to hang back, because fuel is much more definite than a wreck per se. Last week I was in a Talladega race, I only had one caution the entire race, and it was, I believe, like one or two cars, and you have this race here that had several cars involved in wreck. That's just the duality of this track. There's no real way to anticipate for the exact scenario that's going to happen. So yes, I would say it was sheer dumb luck.
As we replay the major wreck on your screen that you seem to be the only man to get right through, how about that? I think the sheer luck got you right in. Now, unfortunately for your case, I don't believe it'll be in the playoffs. The point standings aren't updated yet, but I'm not quite sure given a few races you missed there. But you know, there's a lot of stuff out of sim racing, so I get that. Will we expect to see you back for the final few races after such a great run here at Dega?
Yeah, you can expect me for a few races. I usually just show up whenever I'm, feeling like it, having fun. Things have been a bit busier in the personal life, with taking a venture into game development. But outside of that, whenever I have a free moment on Saturday night, yeah, you can see me here.
That is great to hear, and what a way to go at it. Third place, and we hope to see the 94 machine back at it as the rest of the season goes on. So, Nicholas, press any final thoughts. Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Teammate Bryce had a rough going of it today, but he's really doing his best with these plate races, and his luck, for lack of a better term, is abysmal. And hopefully next week out, it'll be better. Throwback week, very opportune time for nice paint schemes for me and him. The rest of the NPM crew, as the Watkins Glen 6 hour begins to approach. Very important race for us. That's the home race as far as Endurance Series goes, with the team based out of New York City. And my friends and family who always like to watch these fun races.
And there we have, well, a little bit more, my fault.
Oh yeah, don't worry. The last one was just thanking you.
Well, there we have it. I mean, great race for you. Thank you for being out here. The 94 Nicholas Presti makes it through a big wreck, the final wreck here in the B3 Designs 250 at Talladega. Thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure.
There we have it. Presti going to be on his way, and that number 94 machine gets it through for third as the race finish replays. Carter Casey gets it done here in Talladega. What a finish it was. I want to thank y'all for stopping by for this great show all night long. This has been a presentation of the Stock Car Redline Truck Series, Stock Car Racing League Redline Truck Series, and the 14th race of the season in the B3 Designs 250 at Talladega. Now, I've been David Croix, your host for tonight's broadcast. We thank y'all for your support. Race in, race out. We could not do it without any of you, as we do this all every Saturday night. It's been great to have y'all here as the championship chase begins next Saturday at Darlington. We'll be back live on Monday night with the race at Pocono, the 188-mile event. It will be, I believe, the Evolution Disc Golf 188 at Pocono Racing. So, gotta thank y'all for stopping by. It's been great, and we hope to see you back on Saturday night for race 15 of the championship hunt. Thank y'all for watching, and we hope you have a great night once again from the FTN studios to your homes. Thank y'all for your support.